Buff Nation, what up? My BWBs, where y'all at? What's going on with y'all today? How are you guys doing? My bandwagon buffs. I hope all is well with everybody. Welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are now watching TLP Live Monday Night Football. I'm your host, Harry Billion. All right, guys, so welcome. Welcome to the show. We have a simple show today, but we have a good show today. Today, we want to talk about marketing in sports, the prime effect. Something that I feel like the WNBA is dropping the ball on, but I feel like we should talk about it because for some odd reason, I think some people like sports in America is like almost like a religion. Some take it too seriously. Some really understand it for the entertainment value that it has or that it is. All right. And they put it in their right perspective. And the discussions that we have can get very spirited, very heated at times. But sports is something that is supposed to be entertainment. So when you have entertainment, the business aspect of entertainment, you have to treat it as such. And so tonight I want to talk about marketing, what Caitlin Clark does for the WNBA, what Coach Prime does for college football. We want to talk about some of that. And then I want to talk about the different rooms in the college with Colorado and see which one of our rooms are, have gotten really better over the summer. All right, just for the summer. We've already seen what happened in the spring, but during the summer, which room got better? I want to talk about that and more, guys, here on Monday Night Football. This is how it's going to work. On your screen, guys, at the top of that screen, you'll see jointlplive@gmail.com. The email again is jointlplive@gmail.com. You email me at that email. I send you a link. You click on that link. You come on. We talk about the different topics that we are talking about. This is an hour show. We're going to get right to work. And so go ahead, call in if you want to join the show. If you have any interest in the topics that we're going to be discussing about marketing in sports, putting sports in its rightful place, and then from there choosing or conducting yourself based on the rightful context that you put sports in. But again, we are in America and sports is a big, huge thing. So sometimes we take it out of context and we don't treat it in the context in which it should be treated rightfully. But let's discuss that tonight. I'm going to start off the conversation with the situation that's going on with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, she apparently, okay, I don't know the full story, but apparently she went to the WNBA tryouts. She was invited to the trainings, and the committee, the basketball committee that governs the WNBA, they chose not to include her on their roster for the Olympics. Now, obviously, this is the biggest conversation now, right? This is the biggest conversation. I'm also having this conversation on TLPW. That's TLP Sports Club Women. I have another channel that's now dedicated to women's sports. So far, it's been full of Caitlin content, but usually that's what you have to do. You got to talk about what's hot, and you got to give the people what they're asking for. For a while, the WNBA, it's not that they weren't playing authentic basketball. It's not that those women could not play. All right? You think you can ball? Go face Lisa Leslie. She'll probably dunk on you. If you think you can ball, go face one of those WNBA women. All right? They could play basketball. But something about our nature, something about the way we are as human beings or as sports fans, something has to get our interest for us to continue to watch. For men, the men can dunk. They have these unhuman powers. They can, the stuff that the men can do with the basketball is crazy. So we watch. It's very entertaining. All right? But the same thing goes with college football. College football was very entertaining, had a very good huge fan base. However, the fan base got crazier, or even like went almost into the stratosphere when Coach Prime arrived and infused new energy into college football. It was already a big sport, but it got even bigger. So it's a discussion point. I think we should discuss it, because if you think about it, sports need money, dollars, because you got a lot of teams. These teams need to sell tickets. In order for them to sell tickets, there has to be something excited about their team. You got to have a superstar. The reason why you got the bigger companies or these corporations, they go after your best player, is because they want to be part of something exciting and something that wins. So this is the marketing of sports. This is how it is. This is how it's always been. All right. All of the purists, which I'll call them, your purists are going to be supporting you regardless. But I will ask the question. We can start off with this question. Can you survive? Can any sport survive with just the purist? All right. So if you are in the chat, if you are here, you want to talk about, you want to ask that question. I want to ask that question. Let's talk about that. Can any sport survive, or can anything survive with just the purist? Because the purists are the people that just like the thing and they're going to support it regardless. I don't know which sport. Maybe I can say baseball and maybe golf. Because golf, I would say maybe golf is number one. Because golf, there's money in golf. All right. I think they can play golf with one person watching. It's almost like golf don't care. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But like golf don't care whether you have spectators or not. Golf just goes on. The people that are part of golf, it could be like 3 people there standing there watching you swing, and it's a sport that I don't know if they necessarily need the fans. That's what it seems. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying that's what it seems like to me. So for golf, they don't really. I would say the answer to that question: can the purists survive the sport from a marketing and financial standpoint? I would say maybe golf can survive, because it's such a, I don't know, it's such an expensive sport to play that you can golf can stand on its own. I don't know if golf that well, but maybe y'all can let me know. And then I would say maybe baseball. Baseball fans, baseball struggles a lot financially, but the purists are going to watch baseball. All right, the same thing was happening with college football. The purists are definitely going to go to the stadiums and they're going to watch. But according to the president of Nike, when he met with Coach Prime at the Oregon game last year in 2023, he told Coach Prime that, hey man, you're saving the sport. So what that communicated to me was that the sport was probably not doing so well as far from a financial marketing standpoint. And Coach Prime's presence actually, infused energy into the sport and brought new eyeballs, brought new money into the sport. Now, just like Coach Prime is hated, Caitlin Clark is being hated on. Okay? When you are at the top, when you are drawing so much attention, there's going to be some type of, I don't know if you want to call it jealousy or whatever. All right. Son of Yahweh, what's up with you? I'm all is well. Peter Investor, what up with you, man? Peter Investor M, what up with you? So let's talk about Caitlin Clark and what she means to the WNBA. And then we'll kind of fuse that into what Coach Prime means to college football. Because I believe what Coach Prime brings to college football can survive without Coach Prime. It will survive, and it has been surviving without Coach Prime. But do you think that the amount of money, the amount of attention that Coach Prime has brought to to the landscape of college football. What up, Tennis? Do you think that the sports can't do without that money? I don't know. I mean, I would say you're crazy if you don't think so, because the casual fans, the fans that would not care for something either way, those fans can actually save a sport. It's happened with basketball. You can go as far back as Magic and Bird, Larry Bird. You can take it back that far. We can go to what else can we go to? I mean, the star power always brings eyeballs, new eyeballs. So when you have a star, or when you have a situation where somebody is, just from a business standpoint, and I'll ask you, Peter Investor, just from a business standpoint, it should make sense that the bottom line should be the focus. We focus on the bottom line, all right? After expenses, making money after expenses, and then whatever is left over, that's profit. And then if we have investors, then, or we have stakeholders, we divvy out how much the stakeholders are going to get. So when you're talking about business, there's one side of that says, okay, if we're talking about that, then Caitlin Clark should be with the WNBA. She should be in the Olympics. It makes sense for one major reason. You're going to have some players, or you're going to have some people who don't come into the United States all the time, or they rarely come to the United States. So the fans that are actually now following Caitlin Clark from a global standpoint, they have an opportunity to watch her when she goes and plays with their country. So I think from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. All right. So I don't know if we're talking about, I know some people are talking about the fact that, oh, the roster, she's not strong enough and she needs to get better and all of these things. But I'm like, yeah, but the girl is breaking records while we're talking about it. The girl is breaking records. If you have an opportunity, please go over to TLPW or TLP Sports Club or Women. All right, guys. And you can subscribe to that channel, guys. And the address is just TLPW. Okay. So yeah. So I wanna ask y'all in the chat. Am I missing something that Caitlin Clark should have been on this team? If she's not ready solely for a marketing standpoint, let her come off the bench. Let her be able to play. I don't know. It's like the women's basketball, just like the women's soccer for the United States, they're still dominating. All right. The last that I've heard, maybe they lost by maybe they haven't been as dominant as they've been over time. But we saw the same thing happen with men's basketball. The United States was dominating for several Olympics, and then other teams started catching up, and that was only because of the international play. We started getting more people from Europe, from the other side of the town. The African countries are playing basketball. They're getting better because of the NBA, because of the star power and the interest that's in the NBA. And I'll tell you this, other countries do not take sports as serious as we do. If it's not soccer, cricket, depending on what side of the world you're on. Besides those, other sports is not taken as seriously. All right? So in the United States, we have a lot of time. All right? In the United States, it's more, there's a big interest. For some reason, the United States figured it out, or they know that sports is much, much bigger in the United States. You go anywhere else outside of the world, whether you're in the I would say the Spanish countries, it's either going to be soccer or it's going to be baseball. Other than that, people weren't really playing basketball. So there's not I would say a secondary market in there's not a secondary market when it comes to youth athletics. In the United States, youth athletics is huge. It's a huge business. I don't know the numbers, but I will say it's probably billions of dollars. If you talk about, you can take it all the way back to AAU sports. You can take it, I mean, from AAU, from just anything that you do, because my kids play, so you got to pay. All right? You got trainers who are going to charge you. You got the trainers are going to charge you. The leagues are going to charge you. Somebody has to sponsor those leagues. So it's a big, big business. And we're also an established place. So sports in America is a huge, huge thing. Outside of America, you got to kind of break it down by region. All right? The kids can play soccer. Most countries are third world, okay? Most places are third world, and they ain't got no time to be worried about making sure that the kids are going to soccer practice, doing all of these things. For the most part, I would say in the soccer nations, most of the soccer nations are third world, okay? So you're going to get kids that just go out and they go play on the streets. Somebody finds them and puts them in a program, and then they become elite. So it's not like the U.S. where they come through an AAU system and all of that. It's not that, all right? So, but anyways, let me not get too far away from this thing. Do y'all think Caitlin Clark was snubbed, or was it a rightful business decision? I don't want to spend too much time on this. There is a parallel here with this marketing thing, because we have to understand the prom effect. The prom effect is actually affecting college all like college football, college programs. It's actually affecting college programs all around the country now. All right. I read somewhere where the prom effect is actually like LSU, because Coach Prime, when he came through, he wanted to make sure that the kids were eating right. So he started to promote the chefs at CU. He promoted, I don't know if it's the chefs or the chef and his staff. And Coach Prime actually got the chef put on CU's website, and he started to promote him, to promote eating and eating right. Now I heard that LSU is doing the same thing, where they're now actually promoting their chef, and like they're putting their chefs and their staff on their website. So Coach Prime and what he's doing and what he has brought to the sport is really trickling down to other universities as well. I don't know if y'all remember Texas A&M. Was it Texas A&M? Like their list of things that they wanted when they fired Jimbo Fisher, they was like, we want this. And when I did a video on it, and I'm like, yo, if you look at it, it looks like they want their own prime. So the prime effect is affecting college football. So the reason why I say that is because when you look at the totality of everything, Coach Prime hasn't started winning yet, but what he brings to the sport has already affected the sport. Now, Caitlin Clark is new to the WNBA, but one can argue that just the few weeks that she's been, has it even been a month? Just the little bit of time that she's been in the WNBA, ticket sales have gone way up. Anytime that she's, like, the opponent that she's playing, hotels are being sold out. Does this remind you of anything? Merchandise are being sold out. So they're looking to come and see Caitlin Clark. So I would say it makes sense from a business standpoint for you to make sure that the person that is actually the liaison, the person that is affecting the dollars and cents, for you to make sure that they are part of everything that's major for the sport. Whether you want to be a purist or not, at the end of the day, this is the person making sure that the tickets are being sold. So it makes sense to me. Let me see what y'all are saying. All right, let me see. Peter, what you saying? WNBA, we're losing money versus NBA. What are the metrics for winning, for success? Financial is WNBA is winning games, increasing revenue from sales, merchandise, or TV deals or tickets. So again, we got to put it in the right context. It's sports and it's sports business. So if it's business, then it's almost like we're going to be able to peel back certain things, right? Because we have to understand that, okay, if you're making a business decision, then from a business standpoint, Caitlyn gets in. From a pure business standpoint, but the question becomes, who do you leave out? If somebody deserves to make the team, do you leave them out and you make a business decision? Or do you say, well, how will you explain it to them? Is it fair to that person to leave them out for the greater good? So, and that will be the question. So I would say it's a tough decision, but I want to know, like, because the Olympics comes around every 4 years. This ain't like, oh, next year we're going to get her back. Like every 4 years. So now that you have a representative that is trailblazing and that's helping to sell tickets all around the world, this is what you put Caitlyn on that team. You put her, she's number 1 on the flyer. That's why, if you look on the I'm sorry guys, my nasal is going on, my sinuses is affecting me. But if you look at my thumbnail, it says Ready Player One, right? So when it comes to this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put Caitlin Clark on the flyer. Every flyer is gonna have Caitlin Clark. Everything, the way that you talk about the sport is gonna have Caitlin Clark. So then we gotta start talking about it. I know that I didn't want to go here, because once you start saying the other women are jealous, it takes the conversation into a weird place that I don't like to go. I don't want to talk about that other stuff. I want to make it a pure basketball conversation. But what would be the reason for the WNBA to leave off your hot ticket? It don't make sense to me. And then I gotta ask for those. Hey, Wild Dog, what's up with you? For those of you who are familiar with the WNBA, is it the same group that's running the NBA? Is the WNBA being managed and run by the NBA, and it's just a subsidiary of the NBA? Because if so, then somebody's dropping the ball. I have no idea who is, but somebody's dropping the ball. Let me make sure nobody's trying to come on here. So I've been talking for a minute. Give me 1 second, guys. Because I'm like, if the WNBA is being run by the same group in the NBA even had their struggles. They pretty much have they've learned what works. They have a great model already. So then they should use that same model for the women. No, it's not going to be the same, but we're talking about women who are playing professionally, and they're making the kind of money that I would say, I don't want to say regular Americans make, because I think what they're making like $275. If you're making $275, I mean, there's only certain places you can live making $275. That's $275,000 a year. There's only certain places you can live. Usually, if you're making $275, that's not a single parent home. That would be a 2-parent home, and sometimes it should be more than that. So if you're making $275 in a two parent home, that means that your income bracket. Let me see, 275 divided by 2. 275 divided by 2. Hope it's 137. 275 divided by 2 equals. All right, so 137,500. Okay. So if you're in a 2-parent home or a 2-income home, let me just put it that way. If you're in a 2-income home, then that means make 275. That each person would make 137, $137,000. So that's not the regular home. The regular home, I would say, maybe $65,000, $70,000 in a regular 2-income home where the parents are, professionals. You know what I'm saying? So regular professionals, not like, overachievers. So I would say this is a little bit of overachievers. These are guys that are maybe entrepreneurs, or they're maybe upper management, making 137. Somebody help me out if I'm not mistaken. Hey Willie, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey man, how you doing? Miss you guys.
All is well. I'm good. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Good
so help me out with the math. What'd you say?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Good topic.
Oh, for sure. So help me out with the math a little bit. In within the American household, right? If you're making $137,000, you would say that you're in you're not the middle class, right? You're a little bit above the middle class. That's one person. Is that right?
I would have to do some research on that, but I'm not sure. But I imagine you're right. Probably somebody that's more knowledgeable of that.
Just from your own life.
I would say yeah.
Because a lot of us are not breaking 100. So to make $275,000 a year, if you're, that could be low class. I mean, that would probably be upper class. I would say upper class. If you were in New York, you'll probably be living. Where would you be living if you were in New York with that? Not too many places. New York is very expensive.
Probably not.
New York is very. I wonder if Hewlett Harbor. Could you live at Hewlett Harbor making $275? Probably not. Yeah, not too many places. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is these women are making $275. All right. So Roger says upper class. That's upper middle class. That makes sense. Upper middle class. Yeah. So yeah, you're about upper middle class. I would say, because if middle class would probably, you would have to make close to like $200,000, or at least you're approaching $200,000 if you're like a 2-income home. So let's see. Hey, thanks, Phil. All right, so okay, here we go. So Phil says average household income, the average family household income was $74,000 in 2022. All right, so yeah, so average salary by education, $47,000, about $50,000. So correct. All right. So basically, the point that I'm trying to make is these women, these professional basketball players, they're basically making like, they're not making the type of money that other professions make. In order for you to get out of this, you're gonna have to like they got a golden ticket now. Like, this is you've been crying for a golden ticket, you got it now. The regular American household or the regular people are looking to now buy tickets. Now the tickets are being sold out. So Willie, I'll ask you this question. Let's talk about this real quick. I'll ask you this question. Do you think it's a snub, or because you're a basketball player, right? So, or you were a basketball player, is this a purist move, or is something else going on?
No, I don't think it's a purist move. Something else may be going on. But you got to remember, when you talk about Olympics and the professional realm, that's two different ball games, okay? When they go to the Olympics, most people that are in the Olympics are considered amateurs. And some kind of way they've allowed our athlete, our professional athlete, to play according to the rules. They could play in the Olympics and still remain or still keep their professional status. So I don't think that and so when you go and play in the Olympics, you're not necessarily playing for money. Okay, you're playing for pride. I think. Now, I could be wrong on this. So the only reason when, I think they didn't get her in there, probably because they didn't want her. Now,
All right,
that's another question.
So KMS says, why don't you get how disrespectful it is to the players before her? So okay, that's a good question, because I would say, okay, if it's disrespectful, then Michael Jordan got the same treatment when he got to the NBA, because he was the hottest ticket in town. Michael Jordan was actually, I think he was a shoo-in. So
why didn't he play?
If it's disrespectful, we can own that. We can say, yes, it's disrespectful, but it makes sense business-wise. So can we swallow our pride and say, yes, it's disrespectful, and just be honest? Because for the most part, I think we try to hide things. We try to make it seem like it is something that is not. What if we were to say, all right, cool, we agree that it's disrespectful. However, for the business and for the sake of the league growing, we need Kaylin because she's the hottest ticket selling right now. And there's no way you leave the hottest ticket selling sitting at home, right? There's no way you do that and trade that to say, okay, well, for respect, right?
But didn't that happen? But didn't that happen to Michael Jordan? The same thing? Didn't they say, we just said they did the same thing to Michael Jordan? So what makes Kaylin any different?
Michael Jordan actually got in because of his stature. The person that didn't get in was what was his name? Michael Jordan had.
Yeah, there was a couple other guys. I don't quite remember who they were that they didn't get in. And they were probably big tickets.
Isaiah Thomas? Wasn't Isaiah Thomas the
Go ahead.
I think it was Isaiah Thomas that didn't get in, but that was only because of Michael Jordan.
Well, yeah, but I don't. You know what? I don't think it was this. You probably expected her to get in, but why she didn't get in? It simply just didn't want her. That's the bottom line. They didn't want her. Now you can say, well, why didn't they want her? In the women's basketball league, she's a hot seller. She's a hot ticket item. Okay?
Right.
But so now you have to say, okay, maybe there's something funny. There's a dead cat on the line some kind of way. They obviously, for whatever reason, and I don't know, maybe somebody in the chat can help me. Does the players vote on who gets in, or is there another committee? There's another committee that does it.
Oh, yeah, they got a committee.
So if they got another committee and the players aren't doing it, the players would probably love to have in there because that'll probably help our women win. So, but if there's another committee, now you have to look at the committee. Why didn't
all right, so Harry, Marcus Barnett says, Harry, you leave her home because she has no international experience. Remember, most of these WNBA players play overseas when they don't play in the WNBA. So I mean, I get it. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I get it. I understand it, but I think if you've been struggling for a long time with 275, and now advertising dollars are coming in, and y'all want your pay raise to come up, just like the women's soccer, the women's soccer league, they fought hard to, they were winning, and they were winning the Olympics all the time, and they just kept winning, but they weren't getting paid the same, right? So, but now you have an opportunity where more money is coming into your sport, and I think we talked about it. It was either the last live that we talked about it on, where we were talking about how the different conferences, they share revenue. So the more money that comes into the conference, the different teams that make up that conference, like the Big 12 has 16 teams, you would divide how much money we're getting, which is based on media rights, streaming deals, and everything else. You would divide that amongst the different conferences and the different schools that make up that conference. That's how you go ahead.
And that's basketball over here. I mean, but when you look at the reason that they started drafting more players from outside of the country in the European country because the players were better than our American players than what we were putting out. Even though we had the big NBA going, but they were getting people with what's the name, Glossic, and their names like Djokovic and stuff like that. They came from other countries. Now, this is what makes it different, makes it a little different. People in the other countries, they play better because that's all they got to do. So they can put together that and the other thing, that's why we had to start putting professionals in there, because the amateur players we were sending to the Olympics wasn't winning. So we put the professional players in there because they were the only one that can compete with the foreign country, because they were better than us. They could jump higher than us. We had a premium on the thing at one point. We ain't got that premium anymore. Because look at the makeup of the NBA now.
When they were actually using, like, I think they were using college players. So let me bring on Wild Dog. Wild Dog, welcome to the show, brother. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you.
Hey, now, blessings, Harry B. Blessings, Willie.
I receive it.
So Wild Dog, let's start you off with this question. Is she snubbed? Is she rightfully snubbed? Or, I mean, is she snubbed, or are they making a marketing mistake?
You know, we used to say, like, old men, like some sports or some sections of business were just ran by old men who were reluctant to change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So this is the same thing. You have an old system, an old way of doing things. It's, you know, older females. They have their structure and way of doing things, and that's part of the problem. It's part of the problem with the WNBA and the old head owners. You know, it's created basically a really fundamental foundational way of doing things, but that's not exciting, Harry. That doesn't sell, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's fundamentally sound, but it also kind of, you know, strangles progress. It puts a stranglehold on change. The change you need to better promote your sport, to keep the flow of talent coming. Because young ladies like my spiritual nieces, they look and they're like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? They can't even identify with how or why what's going on. And that's an issue, because you can be all fine with what you've got going on now, but if you don't have any vision for the future, things die, Harry. Branches start to die off, right? And the next thing you know, is you got to see the big picture for the whole sport, for the whole picture of basketball, and then women's basketball, and then Team USA. And then, of course, because most of your players, it trickles over, like you were saying. Is this still the WNBA over here, even though it's Team USA is still WNBA? Well, yeah. Rebecca Lobos, the staff, all those people, they're all associated. And if you look at the team, they match up teammates, you know? And then, like, you know, you got Diana Taurasi, you know, her legendary status. That's surely why Brittany Griner got the nod, because those two together are fire.
Yeah.
But so there's no snubbing, there's no edging against her. She got the invite, there was a tryout, and she wasn't quite the fit of the core of the old set way of doing things. Like, we're going back to like the 70s way, 80s, you know, because USA basketball for women, that was it. You went to college and then you tried to stay on Team USA because, you know, there was no pro options for you. So you know, the epitome for women's basketball for decades was Team USA.
So, I mean, so I understand the purists, you know, they want us to say, well, yeah, you know, it's fine, but is this a contrast argument that we're having, where we're saying we're arguing against the purists in football because Coach Prime is bringing something new to this whole coaching landscape? So we're arguing for that, and we're saying, hey, man, you know, the money's here, so let it go. And then when we come to basketball, we're like, okay, well, let's see. Is it the same argument or is it a different argument?
It's very much a parallel, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Hey, Harry, I want to give a little pushback on my brother here. just a slight pushback. He used the term older gentleman. So the political correct is elder statements. Elder statesmen. Now,
yeah, thank you
for people that are in Harry's class, we call them middle class Thundercats, you know. So it goes up or down. Harry's a Thundercat. He's a middle class Thundercat, you know.
So, all right. So,
all right, it's light enough. I just want to lay.
So at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, we're saying something that should make sense, right? It should make sense, and if it makes sense, it makes dollars, right? If it makes sense,
I'm trying to be politically correct, and that's why I was kind of stumbling around a bit. So I wasn't lost over here. I'm just trying to I'm really trying to be on my best PR.
I'm saying if it makes dollars, it makes sense. So we're having a conversation. We can have a conversation about whether. Okay, let me pose this question: Should the players be more forthcoming, more business minded, right? And they should be the one that's vying for this girl to come to be in there. And if not, why are they not? Because I think the players should be the ones that's actually making the argument for her to be there, because they understand the business side of their sport. They understand the excitement that this girl brings to their sport. So they would make the argument and say, you know what? I think somebody's stocks can go all the way up if they was like, you know what? I want to give my spot to Kaylin. Is that a crazy thought to have? Is that a crazy thought to have? But
that's real crazy, then, brother. That's a crazy.
That makes if it makes dollars, it makes sense, right?
I ain't giving up my spot.
But is it? Should it not be the players that are having this argument that should actually vouch for her to be there because they understand the business side of their sport and not just being basketball purists? Or is that a crazy question? Marcus Barnett says I'm crazy. Maybe it is crazy.
Because Harry, all they're vouching for is their friends. All they're vouching for is for players and staff that they're familiar with.
Yeah.
So anything new and cutting edge, even if it works, it's a square peg in a round hole. They're all smoothed out and comfortable, cozy together, and you don't fit. You know, you're bringing hot energy, and we're good at 75 degrees, and you're coming in at 105. No, thank you.
Well, okay, Harry, let me ask you a question though. In the business sense,
you're not going to answer my question. You're going to answer with a question.
Well, yeah. You want to know what's crazy? Yes, that was kind of crazy. Yeah. But anyway, what I wanted to say was, but anyway,
easy answer. Yeah, that was crazy.
What would be the profit for the Olympics? What would be the profit for them? And I'm pretty sure there is, when they invite you to play, it's more of an honor thing because you represent your country. What would be the profit? Maybe somebody can answer this, because I don't quite understand. What would be? How would it profit the Olympics?
I can answer. When it works with Team USA, it's like we moved away from a model where it's tax dollars covered everything, right?
Okay.
So there came a time where sponsors covered it. Corporate sponsors, funded the Olympics, funded Team USA's, whether it's a non-Olympic year. Players get stipends, and they also get bonuses based on specific sponsorships, TV revenue, and things of that nature.
But see, now that takes it. But now that takes it out of the amateur ranks and puts it into the professional ranks.
That's been that way. So, like, if you can, I was going to wrap up real quick. If you can remember in recent history, where the women's Team USA women's soccer team had been killing it, right?
Yep.
And I feel like they deserve more money, but their argument was like, we want the money the men get. So the men were getting a certain percentage, but it was of a much bigger pie because guess what? People watch men's soccer, right?
Yeah.
The women were killing it, and they were getting more
They were
They were
actually
getting more
winning.
attention. They were getting more sponsorships, right? And they were getting the same percentage, but just of a smaller pie, because who's watching your sport? Who's sponsoring you? Not as many people watching, not as much TV revenue. So their argument was, pay us like the men. I'm like, pay you like champions. So what it ended up happening is they get a much greater percentage of their smaller pie. So much for equal rights.
So, I mean, okay, but do we look at sports? Because sports is actually marketing. Sports has to have sponsorship, just like YouTube. We need marketing money to be able to survive, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, are we looking at sports as are we looking at it as a political thing, or are we looking at it from a business standpoint and say, hey, you know, you need money to survive. Without money, it's going to be hard for you to survive. You know, when those buses, travel from state to state, when those planes have to fly from place to place, you know, the meals that they got to serve, everything that rolls into the sport, it costs money. And in order for you to be able to survive, you gotta bring in a lot of money for everybody to be able to have a piece of the pie, so that you can get more than $275. I think if I'm not crazy, I think one year I remember them saying that the WNBA stars, some of them had to work summer jobs.
Yes,
it was. I don't remember which year it was, but there was a report that saying that WNBA stars, they had to work. At this point, they weren't even making $275. They were actually making less than $275 at the time. Yeah. I'm talking about the base salary.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Right. So they had to work extra jobs, because you can't live like in America, where I live in New York. Like, it's for rich people, right?
In the early days, it was like 20, and if you were like a normal, rotational player, then you were looking at 30 something. And then if you were like a star player, you might be bringing in 50, 60, like, the whole, the Sue Bergs back in the day, my Cheryl Swoops, like, dude, it was like,
all the way to,
you were middle class. I mean, you were on TV, you were, talented basketball player, but you were making middle class money.
Okay, Harry, well, tell me something. What do you think about this here? There's a guy that was a golfer. I forgot what school he played for. He golfed. He won the tournament. The prize money was $100,000. He didn't get the prize money because of his amateur status. Guess who got the prize? The guy that won, that was in second place. Man, I'd have been. He for some reason, maybe now he probably got other endorsements and stuff like that.
Yeah, eventually he
did. But the guy won the tournament. The prize was $100,000, and they gave it to the guy in second place. Man, I thought that was so unfair. Because he beat the best of at that particular tournament. He beat the best of the best, huh, sir?
How are you tying this in?
But that's what, because we were talking about amateur and the Olympics are pretty much amateur based, and we're talking about money. We're talking about monies and stuff like that, endorsement.
Right, because Harry, you asked about, like we touched on it before, right? And I commonly emphasize, like, even when I text it or I type it or whatever, I put sports, capital S, but then I put entertainment in big bold caps letters.
Right.
Right? Because the fundamental side of it, the amateur side of it, the fundamentals of the sport, right? We get that, right? But you get to the pros, you get to a certain level, you get to the Olympics, you get to a much higher level after college ball, that level of ball. You talking about, playing internationally, you talking about playing professionally, you're in a whole different level. You're in a whole different stage. And then the entertainment factor is much more bigger and bolder. So that's how I communicate it. Yes, you have the fundamental parts of it, but that can often be boring, right? But on top of that, fundamentals of your sport, you have to build on the entertainment side of it. You have to bring in fresh blood, fresh sets of eyes. You know what I'm saying? Young, new talent, right? Young new talent who bring a whole new flair, who can then spark the eyes of the young people coming in behind them.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking at a bunch of grandmas, how does Kentucky
be careful? Be careful.
I'm
Be
wild
careful.
dog. I'm wild dog. I can do it. How are you going to connect? But look, Harry, they've come at us. Oh, they just a bunch of old men, right, Willie? What do they know?
No, we're elder statesmen.
These
Ain't
elder
no
statesmen,
idea.
how are they going to reach these kids in Colorado? When you ask us to speak to the kids, I'm like, they ain't kids, these are young men.
Yeah.
And then they call us elder statesmen, like we can't connect with these young men, like
There
we
you
were
go.
never in their place in their place in life. We've been called out for that, so I don't even want to hear it.
But I still call him a young.
How you
I
gonna
still
connect
call
with
him a young. I
with
still
those-
call him a
with those
young
young men?
Thundercat. They're still a young Thundercat.
Right. So,
What's a little
second,
Thundercat
so
running
no
around
different with
here?
women. How are these, elder women going to connect with the future of their sport? And this ain't it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
This is
okay,
not it.
so if we're talking about, okay, so KMS is like 20 years later, all of a sudden we're worried about. I don't know that this is all of a sudden. I think we've been having this conversation a long time.
A long time.
Now, yeah, we've been having this conversation for a very long time. This is
long
not
time.
out of the blue or it came out of nowhere. And we got to acknowledge why we're having a conversation. The reason why we're having a conversation is now because you have a firebrand. You have a golden ticket now, where you didn't have before. And I would submit to you that without Angel Reese doing this, Caitlin Clark was what? Okay, I think her dad had an interview where they asked him the question. It was like, when do you think your daughter really got her population, or she got her biggest fans? And he was capping. He was like, "Oh yeah, I think it was at Michigan when she hit the half court buzzer beater or something like that." I'm like, "Bro, you capping. The purists knew her, but it was not until it was not until Angel Reese did this and the whole controversy went viral, and then the world got to know her. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you this: without that virality, right? Without that viral video, without that thing going viral, she would have been just like Diana. She would have been just like Cheryl Swoops. She would have been just like the Liberty. She would have just been a really good player, all right, in a league where people would have probably. She's not that dynamic, to tell you the truth. She ain't that dynamic, more so than the other women that I've been watching for a little bit now, right? She's not. She's a really good basketball player, but something had to spark, and energy had to spark, and it was not until that whole thing, and then Angel Reese pointing to her finger and stuff like that, and then the whole world paying attention. Now all of a sudden we're feeling her. So now that you have this, it's like a blessing, right? It's like one of those happy mistakes that happen in our business. Something happens and you're like, okay, we'll take it. But I don't know if you guys actually answered my question. My question was, should the women of the sport be more so the ones that are actually pushing the envelope for her from a business standpoint? Can we have two conversations? And like Phil always says, can two things be right at the same time here, right? Can we have a conversation at the end of the day and say, well, these women, they should really be standing up for Caitlin and understanding. I'm not saying bow down. I'm not saying none of that. But should they understand, and should they say, you know what? Let's try to take her under our wing? Because there's one thing that now that I'm watching Caitlin Clark and I'm trying to understand who she is. This girl's a tomboy and she just loves the sport of basketball. She has the elite spirit. She has the Deion Sanders spirit. She has the Michael Jordan spirit. She has the LeBron spirit. She has that thing spirit, right? But it's a she we're talking about. It's a regular she, okay? And she's in our world. We don't promote she's that well, okay? So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a spark. And they have a team in the WNBA named the Sparks, right? So this is a spark. So how do you treat your spark? That's a question. I want you to answer that question, then we can move off of this. Should you treat your spark, or should you strike when the iron is hot right now? And how should you treat your spark? Am I crazy for just even thinking about it?
No, Harry, because I don't want to be a broken record, but just the truth is the truth, right? This is organic. And we've seen this before. There's a blueprint already laid out. It's not brain surgery. It's simple. right? So Bird and Magic, this is Bird and Magic 2.0. And
Right.
basketball heads all over the world are, I'm calling it the same thing. They see it the way they see it. History repeats itself, and this time, thank goodness, it's on the woman's side, right? So Bird and Magic were mortal enemies on the court, right? But off the court, they were shooting commercials together,
That's right.
making extra deals with Converse on shoe deals. The same shoe, two different color formats, and let's use this hype. Let's take advantage of this hype and momentum we got going.
Yeah.
People on your side, then they not liking me. People on my side supporting me. They're not liking you because we have this competition going, and they maximize it. They didn't. It's two bags. It's multiple bags on the ground. Why are you just gonna pick up one? You're gonna hook them on your arm, put them on your back. You're not leaving no money on the table. So yes, the players, they should be allowed to have their full competition on the court. When off the court, when it comes to advertising, marketing, and business, you have to be able to flow both ways. You have to be able to flow. You have to be able to operate both things fully functioning at the same time. Two things being true at the same time. Enemies, yet partners. Two things being true at the same time.
What about you, Willie?
Okay, I'm gonna try to answer it in the way that you want me to answer it. Okay.
Answer in the way that you feel. Like
No, I'm gonna give you what you want. Because you don't want to answer how I feel right now.
I want your answer. I want to know how you
about...
feel about the women actually being the one to be leading the charge on making sure that she's, you know what I'm saying, that we use this opportunity.
I agree with you on that. I think that women should take the lead in this and showing their support, not so much for her, but for showing their support against the way the system is treating her. Because you got to remember, it's a system that's saying, "Oh no, we won't let you go." So I think the women should fine with her, and because not just because she didn't get selected, but the way she wasn't selected, and by the group that did not select her. That makes a little bit of sense. I think it should come together.
I mean, it makes sense, but apparently everybody's divided on this, but the people that are divided, I guess I would ask the question: are the people that are divided on this? Are they okay with the league not existing? I mean, are they okay with the league phasing out? Are they okay, or you know what I'm saying? Like if the league didn't have enough money and they said we're going out of business, we can't keep up.
Hey, Harry B, that's a really good reset. Like you're having a conversation, then you kind of bring some, you asking that question kind of brings some full reality to it. Because we're always like, oh, this and this. But your question kind of makes people be like, well, wait a minute. Let me back up. Let me reset to zero and then reset where I'm at. Because all this pushback about her not being a qualified this and that, but it's like, let me give you 2 points on your reset. This has happened before where an unqualified rookie was part of Team USA. One of my favorite players, right? Candace Parker, unqualified, no international play experience, right? Was on Team USA.
They used to have college students. They used to have college students on the team.
She's not the only one. There's a whole list. But but I can give you right off the top, I was so excited when Candace Parker, as a rookie, no international experience, not having proved herself, not one of the top players in the league, got the call and joined Team USA, right? And then the second part of it is that she is an alternate. If someone goes down because of injury or because of, any kind of personal reasons, they withdraw, she is an alternate. So she qualifies as an alternate. And that's nothing to be snuffed at.
But I mean, so people can understand, the WNBA, they had the same thing that they used to do, I believe, with the men, where they would invite college students so that they can show, they can show solidarity with the college players and to recognize the highest college player that was actually, in college. they will recognize the highest college player by inviting them on the team, and that's how it's been for a long time.
I feel you, Harry, but that had already been done. That had already been done away with. So yeah, like that had already been done away with. Christian Laettner ruined that. But they brought two-time back-to-back, 2-time champion.
Yeah, they got rid of that for the men.
But they benefited that. But the same thing with the women. So like when Candace Parker came on, she wasn't a token college player. And the others that came after her, there was a list I read earlier. But there, like I'm saying to you, when it was just pros or the best only, there have been rookies, unproven, no international play, all these reasons people are giving that have come in. Now, I'm not saying she's Candace Parker, and you can't say that she won't be, right? But I'm just saying unproven rookies, right, have been on the team before. And there's a list of them. Somebody put out a whole list of them. So
Mr. James, what are you guys talking about? Why don't we let the players be the leaders in this? They play and make their living from this. Well, that's the point. That's the entire point.
Exactly.
For you to make a living, in order for you to make a living out of something, there has to be dollars for you to make a living from it. That is the whole point of this conversation.
The player leadership is whining and complaining and give us more money, give us a bigger percentage.
Right.
Oh, we are getting the same percentage, but still give us more money.
Hey, Waldo, you know what?
Change the game. No, we don't want to change the game. We want to keep everything the way it is, but then bring us the audience, bring us the sponsors, bring us the money. Make it happen. We don't want to change anything, but make everything happen for us without us doing anything different than what we're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm hearing?
It makes sense.
You know what I'm hearing?
That's poor leadership.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing a lot of people talk, but I feel like they don't really remember the origin of the WNBA. I feel like a lot of the people that I don't know if it's Mr. James or Marcus. I feel like these people, some people didn't really watch the WNBA or didn't really understand what was in the beginning. I remember the WNBA. Like in the beginning, it was really bad, bro. Yo, the joint was not great, bro.
Hey,
I'm talking about finance, making a living wise. It was not great.
Harry B, my favorites are the Cheryls. Cheryl Miller, my personal favorites, that is. Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller's older sister, and Cheryl Swoops. So when I go to the Wings games, pretty much every other time, she's not completely swamped, I go holler at Cheryl Swoops. She's like, "What's up, dog? Okay? Why can't she go and see her home team play? The first 3-time champion, Houston Comets. Why can't she go? Why isn't she working for the Houston Comets? Where are the Houston Comets at? I'm glad she's up here in Dallas, but why is she in Houston with her squad? Where are the Houston Comets?
What happened to the Comets? They went defunct?
Hey, chat, everybody, y'all got all this pushback. Where are the Comets at? We have no basis for change or what we're doing. We're just elder statesmen disconnected. No, I'll follow all levels of basketball, pros, college.
Hey, listen, this is not about you, Wild Dog. Who cares? Listen. We're not talking about you. We know that you're seasoned.
I'm just saying.
But the idea, listen.
We want to push back, and they don't know who they're dealing with. It ain't about me.
Dog. You're taking it personal. We're not. This is not about you. This is the the WNBA.
I got a whole crew behind me. I got a whole network, and we're all saying the same stuff. So I represent a whole core of
I didn't see
fans.
anything about Wild Dog in the comments. Okay, so I don't know where you're coming from, but anyways, listen, Mr. James, the whole idea of this is that these professionals make enough money, and the way that professionals make money is from sponsorships. When you see NASCAR, the car starts off being either all black or all white, and then you got to start filling the car with logos. All right. When you watch the NBA, they got Chime and they got the Nike swoop on there. Okay. And then somebody got to pay those bills. Okay. So that's the whole idea. In order for that to happen, these brand deals, ain't no brand is gonna take this and be like, oh, I'm gonna do it for the morality of saving women's sports. I'm not going under to save you. Right? Nobody's going to ever go under to save anybody. So if I'm going down and you're going down, I'm not attaching myself with you. I want to make sure that I'm attaching myself to the biggest brands. That's why everybody's attaching themselves to Kaylin right now, because everybody's watching. So from a business standpoint, when you don't want a team to go under or to go bankrupt and that no longer exists, you need a firebrand. You need a Deion Sanders. Okay? You need a Deion Sanders. And here we are. We're talking about Kaylin Clark. And, we've been talking about her for over an hour now. But I think at the end of the day, it makes sense because you need money. The WNBA can use this opportunity to have Kaylin talked about for 4 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you literally gonna talk about Kaylin if she busts a game winner in somebody's mouth. We can talk about anything good that she does. We can talk about that for 4 years. But now we're not gonna get the opportunity because we want to keep the game pure. And okay, if that's what y'all think, then I don't know if the business makes sense. If the business part of it makes sense, it's not making a lot of sense to me. And that's what we can leave it right. We can leave that right there.
It's like all that momentum, whether it's Kaylin or anybody else, they have this following, they have this branding when they're coming through 4 years of college and they get to the NBA and they get snuffed out. The momentum gets shut down instead of benefiting from it. The WNBA just snuffs it out, snuffs out the fire, snuffs out the momentum, and it's not good business.
So we're watching Clark because we feel sorry she lost 2 national champions. Oh, you trolling, KMS? You trolling? Who cares what she lost in college? She's at the pros now. I mean, Charles Barkley did not win any championships.
Larry Bird lost his championship. It didn't matter.
Right. I mean that winning a national title, winning the chip for in college is cool, but the whole idea is that we're talking about the fact that she is the face of the WNBA right now. Yeah. So if we don't get that, then I don't know that we understand the business part of the WNBA.
Well, Harry, here's the business part of it. When you're in college, you're playing for pride. When you reach the professional, you're paying to get paid. You're gonna get paid whether you win or lose. It's just how much money you want to make. So you're gonna try to get with a team or try to, but either way, you're a professional now. You're gonna get paid win or lose. So it's a win-win situation for them.
I mean, I don't know that they're looking at it like that.
They're getting paid now in college too, even the women. If you're,
Clark,
it's still a little different though.
If you're Kaylin
Clark made Kaylin Clark made $3 million. She was the highest paid woman college athlete. When the NIL deal struck, she was right up there, top 5 with Shedeur Sanders. So
hey Harry, when they asked Angel Reese, well, what about this? Wouldn't you prefer to leave college early and go to WNBA? She was basically like, with those salaries, no, I'm good. She's like, no, I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. She didn't give no deep. She's like, no. She's like, trust me, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah. She said she pretty much said for life. Yeah.
You a star, male or female, you getting the bags. You getting paid. So they asked Kaylin Clark. They said, hey, how do you feel about getting left out? And she told her coach, she said they just woke a beast. Yes.
The conversation that we had last time, and I believe it was Willie and it was Tim Smith, they were saying that, she's not a floor general, and Willie, you're here, so I'm not talking out of your name. You're right here, and I'm going to talk right in your face. You're saying she's not a floor general, and she's also not going to be able to. I don't know if this was you, but this might have been Tim. She's not going to be able to win. She's not going to win anything within 5 years or whatever. And that's
Tim.
where I stood.
That was Tim. Yeah, that was Tim.
Right. Yeah. So I agreed with him though. It's gonna be
okay. So both of y'all. Okay, then I can throw both of y'all in that boat then. So
Harry, I love it. I love that her losing NCAA championship back to back. Just it didn't break her, it fueled her, right?
Right.
And then the fact that she didn't make the team, you know what I'm saying? It just she talking to her coach and she's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like a dog. We like throwing that word around. That sounds like a dog.
Let me tell you what it really is. The reason it touched her and it lit a fire in her because it touched her ego. Ego don't want to be let down. Ego want to win everything. That's what it was. It touched her. When they did that to her, they brought her down another peg because her ego was up there, brother. See, if somebody does something like that to me, you know,
Are you saying that's a good thing or a bad thing?
For them, it's a bad thing if they don't adjust it. It could be a good thing. It could be either or. Like we said before, two things can be right at the same time. It could be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. But this is what it showed. It showed that she got bruised because she was expecting everybody to love her, everybody like her.
Hold on, who are you talking about? What are you? Wait, slow down.
We're talking about Caitlyn. We're talking about Caitlyn.
She wasn't expecting that. Where are you coming from with all this?
Harry
She was expecting to be chosen to make the team, and that would bruise her when she didn't get checked. When she didn't check her. That's all I'm saying.
Who wouldn't expect to make the team though? The way you're saying it, it seems like you're trying to say she's a little spoiled brat and she don't deserve to be on the team. Like it just sounds like that.
I didn't say that, but since it's kind of like
it sounds like you're saying that
it's kind of like in that content a little bit.
You're saying her expectations were a little bit and then her ego got bruised.
She got hurt. She got hurt, brother. That's why she said something woke up inside of her.
You're saying,
Harry, I gave an example of a rookie unproven to make the team. And then
that was Michael Jordan, right?
And then this gym rat is not trying to rule the world. She's just trying to rule the court. And that's what she's supposed to do. That's what she's supposed to do. She's not trying to rule the world. She's not trying to take over the world. She's trying to take over the hardwood. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
She wants to be number one. She wants to be top.
On the hardwood. She's not trying to
run no city,
run no state. She ain't trying to be no dictator.
You ain't top dog, baby.
You can't be talking over each other, guys.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, so let's pivot. We've exhausted the Caitlin Clark conversation. We ain't gonna come to no conclusion here. We're not gonna get no. we ain't gonna get no agreement across the aisle here. This is gonna be red state, blue state.
It's okay to call men dogs. It's okay to call a man a beast. She said they don't, coach. They don't woke the monster, the beast in me, and yeah, she tried his ego. No,
ouch,
no, dog.
Ouch. Don't do that, wild dog. Don't do it.
So, Mr. James says, Harry, why would she expect to make the team? She is not one of the top 15 players in the WNBA today.
We covered
that. She was number one. She was the number one draft pick in the WNBA for her draft class. The number one draft pick. Whenever somebody is number one draft pick, they're coming there. That means that you've gotten the attention of all of the teams. Right, or you got the attention of the team that was. There's a certain decorum and there's a certain respect that comes with the number one overall draft pick. So when you are the number one overall draft pick, that comes with a certain respect that she feels like she's entitled to. I don't know how you look at that, but I'm sure that Caleb Williams being number one overall for the NFL, I'm sure there's certain things that he feels like, you know what I'm saying, a certain respect that he feels like he's entitled to. Because he did put in the work, you know. He didn't just sit down.
Harry,
Hold on. Let me finish this thought. Let me finish my thought, guys. Let me finish my thought. This is not a player that sat on their butt and didn't do any work. This is not somebody that didn't go and train when everybody else was sleeping. This is not somebody that didn't first of all break every single college basketball shooting record. Okay, number one college scorer, number one. Okay, this is not somebody that just came out of nowhere. Angel Reese made her popular because she's white and somebody did something like that. Once we figured out once that controversy ended, we went back and we started checking for the basketball stuff. All right. So when we went back, okay, you can get there with Angel Reese, right? But then we're going to go back and we're going to do our research. We're going to look into this and say, is this person, are they the realness? Are they a problem? If you don't think that Angel Reese is a problem, you're crazy from a basketball standpoint. The girl broke not the women's scoring record. Okay. I believe somebody named Steph Curry, I think he was in the conversation when it came to the record. She broke the record for men and women. This is the person we're talking about. This ain't no just any player coming out of college. This is somebody that have really, they are at the top echelon, upper echelon of their sport.
NCAA level record.
NCAA level. So let's not pretend like this is some college player that somebody's just spoiling and because she's somebody. No, this is a legit basketball person.
But Harry, you're at another level now. You have to prove yourself to be at that you belong at that level. Everywhere, I'm in that former athlete.
Michael Jordan didn't have to prove
everywhere, Harry.
Candace Parker didn't have to prove it.
But Harry,
Willie, you're a basketball guy. So answer this question. Did Michael Jordan prove himself?
Let me finish.
No.
Listen.
Candace Parker.
Everywhere I've gone,
on the table. Don't finish with that. Did Michael Jordan prove himself?
Let me finish what I'm saying. Everywhere I've gone, Harry, I've had to prove myself.
This is not about you.
Prove that I
Michael
belong
Jordan
here.
prove himself.
Did Candace Parker prove herself?
Nothing
No.
to do with us.
Did Candace Parker prove herself to make Team
We're
USA?
not in this conversation. None of us were ever at that basketball level. None of us ever played in the pros. Did Michael Jordan prove himself? Forget about you. Did you have to prove? Did Michael Jordan prove himself?
How did Michael get the respect if he didn't prove who he was when he got on that court? What proved Michael Jordan to be Michael Jordan? What he did on the court. Sure, he had to prove himself. Other than that, He was just Michael Jordan.
You want to support the numbers? Do you want to support the number?
Look at his career. Look at Michael Jordan's career.
I think a better example is Christian Laettner. And I gave the example of Candace Parker. Candace Parker was a rookie, and she made Team USA. There's been other presidents. There's been other female players, unproven rookies, who have made Team USA. So it's not nothing new or strange. And she's an alternate. We can move on here. She's an alternate. So she proved herself enough to be an alternate. That's where she's at right now. She's an alternate.
He's an alternate. Okay, so he's an alternate. That's what the
Let's switch to a little basketball, and then we can get up out of here because the show is supposed to be 1 hour. We spent an hour on on Caitlin Clark. Let's switch to a little bit of football, and right at this point, before we get deep into the college football talk, let me go ahead and do a little thing that I started last show. What have you heard out there? What have you heard out there that did we miss anything? Have you heard anything out there, Willie? Either during the week or during the weekend. Have you heard anything? Did you hear anything out there?
Oh, what I've heard, and it's like an overall consensus of CU. They're more favorable, and that's I'm going to say fans and the media and the haters. They seem, and probably not the haters, they seem to be a little bit more favorable towards CU. They're actually considering them to be legit. Now, this is what I've been hearing, is that they sound like they, maybe they just might win their conference. Well, maybe they just, before it was they said they ain't gonna do this here. That's kind of like the feeling I've been getting from watching some video and stuff like that.
All right, Waldo, what have you heard? And chat, what have you heard? Anything you heard out there? What have you heard, or what have you heard? Waldo, what have you heard?
Well, thank you for sharing that, Willie, because that's refreshing, because I wasn't going to say anything because I've been hearing the opposite. I've been getting a lot of pushback, and even just and I think it's kind of backlash. So the CU Nation is growing, actually.
Yeah.
After the season we had and all the turmoil and all the negativity, there's more and more Colorado Buff fans and bandwagoners than ever. And I looked at a list and I'm like, you had us at 7 wins, and there was a consensus, and now it's like to 5 wins. And I just feel all of that is like kind of like a, just from this unexpected wave that just is not going to stop. It's almost like they're like, no matter what happens, these bandwagon buffs just keep coming. They're coming out from everywhere. So
we're like babies, kids. We don't die, we multiply.
So even like game 1, instead of it being like, okay, respect to the Bisons, it's going to be competitive, but Colorado's got this, right? It's going to be a good, seeing where they are. Still a preseason game warm up, but a good test to really see where they're at. And you got jokers out there putting a big fat red L on it.
Yeah, who's putting an L on it? I want to know.
It's just a consensus. I could give you a
heard
list.
Somebody put an L. Now they're talking greasy, but I haven't heard anyone put an L on it.
Because it's like, I'm not trying to keep receipts, but I take a consensus. And then it's like I almost have receipts, because if we were talking in the same vein of, okay, respect to the Bisons and their program, but Colorado's got this, and all of a sudden you like, oh, this all going on, they're gonna have a losing season, and you got us having an L against the Bisons. I'm like, you out of your mind. So me, I can't even take. So it's like I can't even take you seriously when you give us an L at UCF. What happened to that being competitive?
Mm-hmm.
We might be a little banged up, but what happened to that being competitive? Oh, that's going to be one big fat L. Oh, yeah, it's Texas Tech at home. That's going to be competitive. That's going to be a good game. But wait, you're not giving us a chance now? Oh no, it's crazy out here with the negativity that I'm hearing. So I appreciate Willie, from his side what he's been singing, but from what I've been hearing singing, I'm like, I think this is kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? I said pushback or backlash. I think it's a backlash from the huge swell, the huge tsunami, of more and more fans getting more and more confident, and naysayers and haters are like keep throwing these darts and throwing these shots at us about, well, this and that, and you need to tone it down and you need to be humble. And we're just like, oh no, we rolling. The herd is coming and it's growing, you know what I'm saying? And there's not enough bullets. There's not enough shots to take us down.
Well, yeah, but we talked about that last show, and I think I did a video on it, and I was like, why is actually Colorado receiving a lot of love? And I had a concern about that. But what I've heard, from what I've heard is, I started off with the show about that, was the fact that Colorado and the Coach Prime effect is making a wave across college football. That's some of the things that I've heard. So the Coach Prime effect, we saw glimpses of it with Texas A&M, but now I heard that Coach Prime is what Coach Prime is doing. Even though people want to throw stones, it's effective, because again, we talked about business, right? So the business aspect is never you can't deny the business aspect, because at the end of the day, the reason why a lot of these colleges are firing and hiring new people every single year is because of business. At the end of the day, all right, like they want to win, because the winning actually keeps the money coming in. So when you get somebody like a Coach Prime, who's actually hasn't won much yet, but he's bringing in the money, it has to send a weird message to the business people. They're like, wait a minute. We want to win so that the money can come in, but this guy is actually getting the money without having to win yet. So it's like,
it's not the way it's doing. It's not the way it's supposed to be done. You making us look bad. You making us look bad. We did all this to win, so we can bring in the money, but you bringing in more money and doing much more
without winning,
because he owns the entertainment factor.
Right.
And also even with now the 6 and 6 4, I mean the 6 and 6 people, I hear 8 and 4 out there more than ever now. Even the
Harry.
ones that were
Good.
like 6-6, you
Good,
know.
Willie.
Oh, they just go to, and
Good,
now
Willie.
it's 8-4, you know. But they
Before I-
might win 9.
Oh, before I forget it, Harry B, I was backing a buddy of mine. I've known him for 20 years. We worked with the Mavericks. And so he was doing a watch party. And so I was there, but I guess somebody had seen me on YouTube, you know, because I got a little bit of content. And they showed me their Coach Prime phone.
Wait, what? Say that again. I'm sorry. What?
I was sitting at the bar with my buddy. They came out of their way to show me their Coach Prime phone.
Oh, where?
Their Boost Coach Prime phone, right?
Wow.
And it was like, yeah, go. It was like, yes, go bus. And there was this wave of hate. It was wave of hate, you know, with this college age, you know, young white lady. Wow, dog. Let me show you something. I'm like, you want a picture or something? And then she like flipped to show me. I'm like, oh snap, you know.
Son of Yahweh says Miami to win the Natty. This is what he's heard: Miami to win the Natty, and CU Coach Prime can't coach, and he didn't upgrade his team, and saying only 3 wins. Well, I mean, you still got your strong, you know, opinionated people out there. We can't call them haters anymore because, you know, that word we got to retire the word hater.
They're not haters. They just on that cane juice.
Yeah, I mean, they're you know, they just wear a different hat. They support a different way. They show love in a different way. We're all lovers, but it's just like sometimes you show love in different ways.
Hey, son of Yahweh, God bless you, man. God bless you, son
Blessings,
of Yahweh.
brother. Blessings to you, son of Yahweh.
So he's the only son. He's the only son. Some of us are just stepchildren.
Redheaded stepchildren.
Redheaded.
Hey,
That's an inside joke. That's an inside joke.
Hey, can I touch your cloak? All I want to do is touch your cloak.
That's all I need is a touch, brother. Just a little touch. Just a little touch.
That should not be an inside one, but if you don't know what we're talking about, then that is inside. All right, so let's close out the show with a room. In the summertime, which room got much better during the summertime? Let's talk about the different rooms that got better during the summertime. So now we got BJ Green, we got the players, the other half of the players, they landed. So everybody that we were expecting have landed. They are in Boulder. All right. So if you are a fan, this is where you give a hand clap, guys. We got everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. We got everybody on campus because it don't count till you take a class. Okay. Just in case you didn't know, in case you don't know, it don't count till they're in class. So they're in class, and we can breathe a little easier, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you've been around here long enough and you know how college football works, you hold your breath until they come on campus. Because we've had a few players that changed their mind, all right? Okay? So when they get on campus, we can say, okay, we're okay now. And unless they are a grad student, the transfer portal business is over. All right. The only people that can leapfrog now are the people that are grad students, but the underclassmen, the other guys, you ain't going nowhere. Okay. Right now, if you go anywhere, you're either going to a team and somebody poached you because the coach is like, hey man, come here. I want to start you. Come now. So that's the only way that anybody can leapfrog right now and say, okay, I'm leaving. Because let me remind y'all that the transfer portal still got a few guys in there that have left CU, and I would say they're not going to be playing football this year because nobody wants them. That's just the nature and the beast of the transfer portal. They're not going to be playing college football. They're going to take a year off and maybe try baseball or try some other sport. All right? And hopefully they don't go try women's sports because they haven't let the other groups in yet, you know, if you know what I'm talking about.
Go get that operation. You know what I'm saying? Go get that operation.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. All right. So, which room got better over the summer? Willie, I'll start with you. Have you been watching well off? Have you been watching, paying attention? You can tell us which room got better during the summer, for the summer?
I'm going to say the defensive room, the line has gotten better. And I'm going to say that on both sides. We have new guys that have come in. They're all going to be fighting for a spot. But if they don't get that spot, they're going to be very strong backups, if I can say that. So I'm going to say the O-line and the D-line has gotten better. And I'm looking to see a lot
of my O-line get better. Who came in during the summer?
I forgot what the guy's name was. But they had one
Somebody
guy
came in for the summer? I don't know that anybody came in for the summer.
Well, maybe I just received my information late. I could have received it late. Okay, but I know we had an influx of defensive linemen that came in. You know, so.
Yeah, I don't know. If anybody knows about, if you're in the chat, if you know about the O-line receiving any new blood that may be a starter and they got better, let us know. Don't be capping on here, Willie. If you don't know, just say I don't know. Just don't be trying to cap. We don't do that here.
Well, I'm impressed with both of them. You know me, brother. I'm impressed with both of them.
All right, Willie. All right, Willie. Okay, Wild Dog. Who came in that make you feel like we got better? And maybe you're just excited that we finally got them in.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just excited. It's a warm and fuzzy because I've been harping on this room for the longest time, you know, and I've come down off my, Decon 5 alert. I've come all the way down to Decon 2, and between our existing players we already had, and seeing them even the progress they're making, along with people actually landing, right? There's like, I'm nervous. I'm not even counting anyone who hasn't landed. The linebacker room. My peppermint tea is working again, Harry. I can sleep at night. The linebacker room. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You said the linebacker room.
I'll come down off alert with the linebacker. And I'm just amazed. It's June, and I'm amazed. I thought it would be like game 2 or 3 or something. I think it might be September before I come down off the linebacker room, and I'm shocked. But it's warm and it's funny. It feels really good, Harry, that I've come off alert from the linebacker room. Between the progress of our existing players, oh my God, these guys are for real about making a turn and improving. And then people actually landing. You actually did come. You're here.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm good.
we got Green, and I don't know if BJ Green is going to be playing on the outside, but we got 2 Greens, right?
He might very well be on the outside, but
we got Nakai Hill Green, we got BJ Green, we got a couple of Greens on the.
Even Bentley is looking like we wish he had looked last year. What we expect from him last year, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel like he's gonna give us what we expected of him last year. He's gonna give it to us this year.
Now, did y'all see we actually got I think it was Coach Hart. He tweeted something or somebody tweeted something about Coach Hart, where when Bentley came from Clemson, he had 20 tackles, and at CU he had 72 tackles.
Yeah.
So it's
just behind Shiloh. Yeah, it was just behind Shiloh. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So you're saying you're more bullish now on our linebackers room?
Man, I can't believe it, Harry. I'm shocked.
What's got you feeling that way?
I mean, a lot of times I watch this stuff. I pause. I go back. I mean, I'm like, because I work with youth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to like people like, I'm no recruiter, but I work with youth. I work with recruiters. I work with people who are looking at prospects. I like watching prospects. I like watching middle school, high school, and see you go on to college and even to the pros. I'm in North Texas. That's when I see somebody, I'm about that progression. So when I'm looking at the films, I'm looking at the scrimmages, and even in my photographic memory, I see the change in the quickness and the movement and how their reaction times, even if it's just you're talking about, hundredths of a second. But if you train yourself to look, and you've been spending so many years all your life looking at tape, studying watching film of yourself, I mean, I see the progression. So even in
the practice tape, you're seeing it.
So even just the players we have, they making me feel good about what they're going to bring this coming year. So that's why I said it's not just who landed, but even just looking at even Jeremiah Brown, all the linebackers, the core that we've got. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting this to like get some games behind you and make a turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, what year is Jeremiah?
He's a junior.
So he got one more, right?
Yeah, I'm just going off the top of my head. I thought he was a junior. Yeah,
because he came over from Jackson State with Coach Prime, right?
He came over. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like he hasn't peaked yet. I feel like for some reason I feel like I want to take him serious, but I feel like he hasn't really shown that peak. Maybe he's gonna peak next year or this year if they let him play, and maybe he'll peak this year. But Jeremiah Brown, I haven't seen peak yet.
But the key is progress. You're like, well, he ain't there yet. But you look at the progress, and then you chart that out, and you remember you watch someone, you see your progress in their play, even if they're not there yet. But someone working hard, putting in the work to make progress, that's how you give yourself the opportunity to make a turn, right? Then all of a sudden, bam, it's like, where did that come from? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that happens. I'm not saying it's going to be JB.
But saw the potential the whole time. But
but it's more likely Bentley. So that's why I was saying Bentley, what we expected of him last year, I feel this year, I see him giving it to us, at least from my perspective. I'm feeling good. Warm and fuzzy, and who landed, I'm like, ooh. Hey, that room, I'm like, I'm literally off of that room. I'm more focused other areas.
Yeah, I'm not off that room. You're
but I'm just saying.
You're a better man than me. I'm not off that room.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm like, I'm seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm like, ooh, that's nice.
Hey,
if you drink, you can drink some wine and still see it, right? I mean, it's not like you lose your mind if you drink.
Harry B, will it get the job done? Yes or no? And if I can answer yes, right? Because I'm looking at mid. If we get,
I can get on the train of Bentley. I can get on the Bentley train. Would you get on the what's the safety's name? Trevor Woods. Would you get on the Trevor Woods train?
I've been on the Trevor Woods train.
Oh yeah.
Because he was already here.
We're there.
Harry, I've been following the CU Buffs. I've been following the CU Buffs since 1989.
But he wasn't playing in 1989.
So when he came on the team,
what are you talking about?
I've been familiar with Trevor Woods.
But he didn't play in 1989.
I didn't just come on here. Harry, I didn't just come on.
Drink, man. You sure you
I saw Woods play before Coach Prime arrived. Woods was already a starter. Come on, dog.
Why you going back to 1989?
You acting like that. I'm saying I've been following the Buffs. So when the Woods came, I've been watching the dude play.
Let's bring it back
Woods
to after
ain't new
COVID.
Woods ain't new to me, bro. Come on now. Woods was starting before Coach Prime came.
Hey, okay, DC. So
right? He was starting. He was playing before Coach Prime came.
Hey, Harry. I want real quick. I'd like to respond to something that DC and them said about the tight end, which I agree with them. But I'm gonna ask everybody to do this. Watch out for Charlie Williams and Sam Hart. Just watch them. Okay. It's gonna be either one of those that's gonna win the job. I'm not saying that the other brother's gonna do it, but I'm looking at two guys here. It's gonna be one or the other, or both of them gonna win that job as tight end. That's why I feel comfortable with the tight ends a little.
Okay, that's where my focus is gone. More of my focus is in the tight end room.
Yeah.
So my focus is still on the linebackers room, but I wouldn't say it's the same concern that I had for the spring. I would say they're coming along, but I need to see more elite coverage. And I I think a better line is going to help him out, but I still feel like that linebackers room, they got a job to do this year. You know what I'm saying?
Because again, Harry, my thing is, if I can clarify,
Hey, sir,
like,
what's going on with you, man?
I'm looking for a mid-average performance. Can we maintain and hold a mid-average performance? I'm not looking for some elite status. If we can have an average, solid, reliable linebacker room, that's good. If we can have stability, that's good.
If that's your barometer,
that's where I'm at.
If that's your measurement stick, then fine. I can give you. You'll get that.
Yeah,
but that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Why?
Then why? So I said I took off the alert status.
What is the compensation? What's compensating for that?
If I can expect an average,
what's the trade off for that?
We're talking about a trade off. What do you mean?
Are you leaning on the line? What are you leaning on for you to have average linebacker?
Harry B, we coming off a season where we had to bring in a safety to play inside linebacker. Come on now, let's
get rid of all of that. I'm saying
now
last show I talked about us dominating and beating the brakes off of one of these teams. When you're thinking like that, I'm never thinking like the way you're thinking right now. I'm never thinking because last year I just want us to be okay this year.
I'm talking about standards. I'm not talking about hopes or expectations because I'm still looking for a leader in there, right?
Well, you got your leader.
But I'm off my alert status.
I think you got two leaders now.
I'm off my worry status. I'm off my alert status, and I'm like, I can reliably say we're going to get average, solid performance out of the linebacker room, and I move on my focus somewhere else.
Yeah.
But for me to sit here and say we're going to come off a year where we had a safety as an inside linebacker, and all of a sudden we're going to be elite, all-American linebackers. No, I don't roll like that, dog.
Well, I don't know that it has to go all the way to elite All-American linebackers.
I'm just saying.
We got to be above average. I'm not looking for it to be okay. If listen, there's two conversations going on. If people are feeling bullish on Colorado and then taking the Big 12, you ain't going to have no regular linebacker play. You got to have above average linebacker play. You can't have both. You can't be elite. You're not winning and going deep into the playoff, well, at least upsetting one team in that playoff, that 12-team playoff with regular linebacker play.
Well, that's in your opinion, Harry, but you got a whole totality of your defense.
That's last year.
That's why
we had decent linebacker play last year.
Harry, that's why I use the word reliable, solid play. What is the foundation of what you can expect out of a room? With your starting players and your depth, can you give a solid, reliable performance out of a room, or is it a train wreck, or is it trash, or is an alarm sounding off? So there's levels to it.
But answer this question. Answer this football question.
That's how elite quarterbacks can make a quarterback playmakers make a difference.
Wild Dog, answer this football question for me. You think you can win a conference, go into the playoff, the 12-team playoff, and be effective with regular linebacker play?
Yeah, if you have elite cornerbacker play, if you have elite secondary, and you have above average defensive line.
Well, that's why I was asking you. You're leaning on something.
So that's why I said the totality of your defense.
You're leaning on something.
But look. If you no, it's not leaning. That's football.
You are. If you just said it.
Listen, Harry. If you got Lawrence Taylor as a linebacker, you don't think he made up for a lot? You don't think he made up for a lot of lapses in his defense? Come on now. If you got lapses,
we didn't change our cornerbacks that much. Preston Hodge, we got some corners, but we still had Travis Hunter last year. So, like, your argument has to go across the board. Remember now, we're not that DB room didn't really change that much. So keep that in mind. All right, we only got a couple of guys in that DB room. So you're saying listen.
We can go another hour, but
I'm trying to make sure your argument. Listen, I'm trying to make sure your argument. Wilder, listen. I'm trying to make sure your argument holds water in a bigger conversation. If you're leaning on something, then it's got to make sense in the data. What did we have last year, and what did we bring in, right? Did we have elite? Did we have elite cornerbacks last year? We had one. That was Travis Hunter. He didn't play half of the season. So we're bringing back Travis Hunter. He's also splitting time with the wide receivers room. We got Hodge, right? And then he'll be okay at that position. But are you considering Hodge as an elite? As a lockdown like Travis Hunter?
I'm also considering Cam McHale splitting time.
So,
but that's my position.
Are you considering that you're elite?
That's my opinion.
Is that the compensation for Trevor Woods in the linebackers room?
I don't expect Trevor Woods to be in the linebacker room. I expect Trevor Woods to be in the safety room.
But he's not.
He's been splitting time. No, that's not true, Harry. He's splitting time. And I expect that transition for him to go full-time back into the safety room.
Did they come out with a new report? Because the last time
that was straight from Coach Prime's mouth.
When? At what point?
During the spring. He went to go take off, and Coach Prime was like, no, I need you to get some reps over here at safety. And Trevor Woods was all happy.
Yeah, I remember saying
so
that.
you preach it to the choir, because I said the whole totality of the defense. And I understand, well, if we're mid here, then that's a solid base. If we're mid over there, that's a solid base. If we're elite somewhere else, then that means we're leaning towards above average. If you take all the position rooms, like every position room doesn't have to be elite. You have to have a solid foundation of what you know what you're getting. And the defensive line, I expect to be above average. I expect our secondary.
Your prescription.
I expect our secondary with our new defensive coordinator to be above
Yahweh
average.
said you cooking, but I feel like your food is
raw. Above average. Because you don't like my answers. Because you don't like my answers. But I'm spitting facts.
You're not spitting facts.
What's our defensive coordinator specialty?
No,
you were hating on him.
No.
Okay.
This is why I got pushback. This is why I got pushback.
Okay.
This is why I got pushback because
pushback is good. It's a conversation.
This is why I got pushback. Hey, son of Yahweh, his food is raw. He's cooking half big food. So listen,
because Harry still ain't bought in. You warmed up. You still haven't bought into our new defensive coordinator. That's on you.
What are you talking about? Anyways, listen.
you don't know about Cam McHale. He's an athlete. He's not a wide receiver.
What are you talking about?
Okay, exactly. Cam McHale.
I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know about.
He's a state ranked DB, not just DB, wide receiver, and quarterback. He's an athlete.
Wild dog, stop.
Okay, exactly. So that's the point. You're not receiving my points but I'm spitting facts. You don't believe the level of the degree of its effectiveness, but I'm coming at you right off the dome.
You gonna let me talk? You're talking, but I'm trying to tell you that somewhere in here, you're not considering the totality of the Big 12. You're making an argument for CU, which sounds like is viable, which sounds cute for the BWBs, but I remember we gotta make sure that we're on the right path here, because what you're prescribing is not a winning the Big 12 conversation that you're having. You're having let's make sure that we have a 6-6 season. That's what you're prescribing. What I'm trying to get you to
understand, Harry. I dated it. I time-stamped it every time.
What?
I time-stamped that every time.
But I'm trying to tell you, but that's not where
the conversation is. You asked me a question, I told you where I'm at, and you give me pushback about data that was from March or April. It's June.
I'm trying to tell you this. Listen, we gotta have average. We gotta have above average linebacker play in order for us to win the Big 12. I don't know what you think about Utah. I don't know what you think about K-State. Yeah. I don't know what you're thinking about some of these schools, but average linebacker play is not going to get us to win the Big 12. That's the conversation that we
must have. Harry. Okay. The focus is always the trenches. We have to have it's the trenches, Harry. I feel you on the linebacker room, but it's the trenches, Harry. You can be elite secondary, you can be elite middle linebackers, but if you got stay soft marshmallows in the trenches, you're going to get ran over, and you're going to have a safety as your leading tackler, like we did last year.
Listen,
that's what happened. That's facts.
I'm trying to let you know that in order for us to be in the conversation to win the Big 12, what you're prescribing sounds good to the BWBs, or it sounds
you move
good
the post to winning the Big 12.
What do you mean moving the post? That's always been in the conversation. When last show we talked about it, we said that Joe Klatt talked about there is a possibility, there is a chance that Colorado wins the Big 12, right? Colorado gets into the 12-team playoff. That was from the last show. So if we're piggybacking off of the last show, where there is a chance, because your prescription is 6-6, right?
So
that's your prediction.
So I need to go back and look at Texas last year and see what their middle linebacker, their linebacker core looked like, because they won the Big 12 last year. But I'm in Texas. I watch Texas football, but I'm not a Texas fan.
So are you comparing Texas?
OSU lost the Big 12. They're still in the conference. Maybe I should go look and see what their linebacker core looks like.
Okay,
but what I'm saying is the totality of your defense is what's most important. You're going to have areas, you're going to have play, even game to game, you're going to have injuries. Next man up, what does that look like? If an elite player goes down, you have to still have good, solid, reliable play out of your room.
That is correct. But what I'm trying to tell you is, listen.
And I've said to you, the totality of the defense.
We don't know how the line is going to play yet, right? Because all we're saying is last year the line was not able to stop the run. That's what we know for sure.
Right.
This year's line, we got some upgrade.
Right.
We got the Nigerian Nightmare in there, right? But we don't know how they're going to hold up. We don't know yet. So I cannot put my eggs in one group and say, "Oh, the line is already upgraded, so we're good. We're good with that. So I'm okay with the linebackers being just average." I'm saying Colorado don't have the luxury of leaning on just one section of anything. So I can't lean on just one part of it.
It's semantics, Harry. We're saying the same thing.
Well, that's
I'm not leaning on one room or the other either.
I'm only telling you that when you said that the linebacker play could be average, it sent a signal to my head that says,
and then you went to you jumped to Big 12 championship and left me back in the other room.
No, because I'm trying to make the argument. I'm trying to make the argument that I need every position group to be solid play. Solid to where we're not
average is solid, Harry. Average is solid.
Let me finish my thought. When I say solid, that means that you're not leaning on the cornerbacks to being good. They don't have to be. Oh, if this group is good, then I can take a day off. We cannot afford it,
Harry. That's what that means.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what word to use. Mid, average. That's what that means. You don't need compensation. You don't need compensation. You don't need compensation from any other room. You don't need a crutch. You don't have to bring in a safety if your linebacker room is solid.
So that was mid last year was mid.
Oh no, that's trash.
Huh?
That's trash, Harry. Having to bring in a safety, that's trash.
Okay.
That ain't mid. That ain't average.
How many tackles?
You seeing how big Trevor Johnson?
How many tackles does Levante Bentley have to have this year?
My definition of what average is solid rock. You don't need any compensation. You don't have to be compensated for. You don't have to lean on another room.
Okay, Well,
That's the definition I'm coming at with you, Eric.
all right.
I
So
say
I'll
average and mid. that's what-
concede to that
I'm
because when you
defining it.
said,
I'm
we
defining it. I'm defining it as that.
all right.
Last year was not
So we're
average.
talking about this.
Last year was trash.
So listen, when you said Wild Dog, when you said they can be regular if that's sent the wrong message to my head. That's all I was saying. That's all I'm saying. But okay, so we're going down the road. We're going down the line with the linebackers. They're going to be regular this year. We're going to be much better. We can agree to say that the linebackers room is much better.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, we agree that they do have a leader now, Nakai Hill Green. Right.
I don't know if I agree with that. I'm still looking for a leader.
I said, well,
Because
if you're still looking for a leader, then that means you're ready for the season.
I'm critical about leadership. I'm not saying there's not leaders in there. I'm just saying the leader.
Right. Okay. So then that means
I expect everyone in that room to be a leader. Who is the leader? Who wears the L? But I'm still looking for the L on the chest. I expect everybody in that room to be a leader, but who wears the L on their uniform?
The leader will emerge on the field.
Exactly.
Thank you, Willie. Thank you.
Not on the field because they can't. You can't put an L on somebody after day one, right? You got to put them on.
No, Coach Prime can put an L on anybody at any time, and he has.
But that's what I'm saying. But they're gonna emerge in practice.
Yeah,
because
that's how they play. Exactly.
Coach Prime has put an L on anybody at any time. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't wait. When you earn it, you get it.
Okay, so we agree that the linebackers play is going to be at least more average this year than last year, right? Because Bailey had 40 solos. Overall he had 72. So if we're saying that he has to, does that number have to double for him to have a elite year, or was that not average?
No, he just the numbers are misleading you a bit. When you get benched. When you get replaced, you get benched by safety. That's what happened. That's the reality of what happened. Now, did he make a turn? Did he make a turn in the season to come around and earn his starting spot back? Yes. And did he come through?
Asking specifically for the numbers. Are the numbers average? Is 72 average? Does he need to be in the 100 range to be above average?
It depends on who's in there with him with the inside linebacker.
You're going to have Nakai Hill.
We're looking at the room. Look at the numbers of the room, Harry. Look at the numbers of the room, not just the individual player, because it is a team sport. So Bentley can actually have reduced numbers, but better play because he could actually be better in the moments and have better effect if he's going to be the leader on his teammates. So when I look at the room, I look at everybody's numbers. But if you got a safety padding your numbers in your room, that's a problem. That is not average or mid.
Yeah,
are you saying his numbers were padded?
The room's numbers, yes.
I'm talking about Levante Bentley. What's the 72 padded?
You want me to give you an answer that I'm not going to give you because I have a different philosophy.
But what is a good linebacker number?
If you make a tackle and it's a first down, that's still a tackle. But I'm not applauding that. Let me give you an example of what I'm coming at. Right?
Okay.
If you make a tackle, if you make a tackle with a 3-yard loss, that's the difference.
Well, yeah, obviously, right?
Right. So that's what I'm coming at you at. Like
TFLs are different from regular tackles, right?
Like his numbers could be the same. Like put it this way, his numbers could be the same, right? But Shiloh, a safety, is not going to be the number one tackler. If he's sharing the 1 and 2 spot with another linebacker, then we're there. But out of the top 3 tacklers, 2 of them were safeties. No. That's what I'm trying to come at. And I hope you can feel me on that. I hope that marinates and we can be on the same page. Because I feel like we're playing semantics today. Which we usually don't do, because what you're saying to me, I'm like, well, I feel like we're on the same page, but we're kind of still I need to figure out better words.
I consider that we were saying the same thing, but like I told you, I said when you said, because initially I was like, wait, if you're saying this number or these guys got to be a certain way, then that means you're leaning on something. And then when you said with the if the cornerbacks play, I just don't want to hear, not with CU, maybe with other teams. I can, yeah, but when it comes to CU,
hey,
I need every room to stand on their own foot and to make sure that every room is standing solid, because other teams they could be lopsided a little bit because they have depth. We don't have no depth. Okay, I'm just trying to let y'all know.
You're nervous, Harry. It's a good thing.
I'm a little nervous
You're
on
a
depth.
true fan. Hey, you're a true fan.
When it comes to depth, man, I want. Look,
Hey, we do have a little bit of depth this year. We do have a little bit of depth. We do.
I want every room to stand on their own. I understand that, but I know it's a team sport. Yeah, son of Yahweh, it's a team sport, but I want every room to stand on their own, because in 2023 we had, like, when you look at, if you're going off of 2023 and you look at what happened in 2023, it wasn't a team sport. It felt out of control. Yeah. It felt like we were not in sync. If we're in sync, I'm solid. But if we're out of sync, then I need everybody to just perform to their elite self. That's what I'm saying.
And Harry and bandwagon buffs. I mean, I'm not the only one who was a Buff fan that's here. Before Coach Prime came. So I was there during all the dark. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long ride for me, and I've seen a lot of ups and downs. And yes, I knew and followed and knew Trevor Woods before, because again, I followed Colorado all these years. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, I'll try to follow with my language flow, like mirroring is what I need to do better. Mirroring is what I need to do better. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we miscommunicated for no good reason. I hope it was entertaining, though. You know where I'm at.
Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
You know what I'm saying?
It was me pressing from anxiety, from trauma.
Yes.
From the trauma of last year, because yes. We know that football is a team sport. We know that if we're all in sync and everybody's operating on the same, then you don't need nobody to be like crazy elite.
But Harry, I've been there.
Everybody moves as a unit, but we were not moving as a unit. Then when you saw guys just missing the run, when you saw the running back from the opposite team just going blazing through for 15 yards on every other play, I'm like, bro, you're not gonna make it. Like,
but Harry, I've sat there and watched Colorado games where two players make the right move and they're there and they get carried 15 yards.
Because they were not strong enough.
So let's get real with this. It looked bad, but it's been much, much worse. So I'm you know what I'm saying? So hey, when you're smart enough to get there, but you get carried 15 yards down the
when it blasts through it.
So let me get real with you. Let me get real with you a little bit. Missing it and then being carried like a little child down the field. Come on, dog. Let me give a reality check, because I have been around, and I'm not the only one. You got bandwagon buffs, right, who go back before Coach Prime, because you brought in fans, and I brought them in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, check out my dude Harry B. You know what I'm saying?
There's a difference between missing it, and there's a difference between actually getting there and then getting
carried like a child down the field, and not just one, two. One on the back, one being carried the other arm right down the field.
Yo,
and then trip on a blade of grass. That's the only thing that stops me.
It's PTSD. It's just like, yo.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
It's strictly PTSD. It's because it's just like,
anytime anybody want a reality check about where Colorado's been and come from, I'll be happy to oblige you.
But listen, the guys that you're talking about, you ain't talking about Solomon, and you're not going way back to Eric Bieniemy. Like we wish.
Well, I carry those memories too, but I got the high highs and the low lows.
We
You know
don't
what I'm saying?
even
You know?
we don't even have the same mentality anymore. Like that whole generation of players like that, you can't even use the same metrics anymore. It's like now we got NIL and guys are feeling themselves. So listen, this is a whole new college mentality. All right. If I'm not getting paid, I'm not playing. I don't know where they get that from. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like I
free
don't know where
agency,
guys
dog.
are coming from. If I ain't getting paid, I ain't playing.
Yeah.
And dudes, look, and when the runners come in, dudes are gonna be like, "Whoops, I guess he got through." Where did you do that at? Now you're gonna pay me, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like AI. It's like AI want a Mercedes too. Man, take your Ford Ranger and go on about your business.
Yo, for
Remember?
real, man.
My quarterback got a fully loaded Honda Civic. I got a bicycle. I was good to go.
All right, so let's bring it. Let's go to the phone so we can make sure that we give the people some information here, so we didn't just. All right, so all right, so at the end of the day, we're good. We're good with the wide receivers room. We don't really touch the wide receivers room, right? Because we're good there. We're good with the backup QB, right? We go with Ryan Stubb.
I like
Yeah.
Ryan.
We're all consistent with Ryan Stubb.
But again, he's mid. He's average, and that's good.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, no, Ryan Stubb, he showed up. He showed up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's why
Tight end,
I'm just doubling down on what mid-average, the definition of mid-average. You know,
the tight end room, we're good now because we have I believe we have 4 now, right? We have 4 tight ends.
I'm still examining over there.
Hey, let me ask you this question before we go, right? We got 7 defensive linemen. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good
Got to
thing.
have rotation. If you want that Big 12 championship, you going and do something in that
Is
12
7 a good number or a bad number?
man.
Seven's a good number.
Yeah, you got to
Seven's a
rotate
good
me,
number.
dog.
You actually need one more.
Yeah, technically,
You
but
actually need one more.
you know.
Technically, you need one more.
Yeah.
Because
When I
if
saw
they do
when I saw that
that-
number 7, I was like, wait a minute.
but we got
Is
guys.
7
Oh, sorry.
No, I wanted to know, is 7 a good number? Because I'm sure there's some people that was like, wait, 7 seems a little light. But as far as the defensive trenches, where you're getting banged up and your guys are in there trying to twist your middle finger and they're pinching
Yeah.
you. Nobody
Well,
ever gonna see what happens in the trenches. All
Well,
right.
Willie,
So the referees
Willie's,
are not gonna.
yeah, Willie's saying 8 because we're expecting a 4-man front.
Right.
And look, because look, if they're gonna do what I think they're gonna do, they're gonna rotate linemen in and out of there. Like they're gonna be rotating a lot of people. So people that think they're not gonna play, they're gonna play because they're gonna be rotating linemen in and out of that bad boy, in and out, just
Especially the defensive ends. Now the block bully, he's probably going to get more continuous snaps before I don't know how much rotation he's gonna allow because he's earned a lot of stripes. So he'll get his breaks, but more of the rotation is going to be on the edges, the defensive ends, and the tackles.
Hey, so let me just make sure I answer this question, guys. Marcus Barnett. When I'm talking about depth has to be equal talent to me. To me, depth equals equal talent. All right. So for me, because maybe y'all are thinking about this a little bit different than the way I'm thinking about it, because I'm thinking about this is a year that CU is going to make a football statement. So my brain is on, if we're going to go 8-4, 8-4 is not an easy season to accomplish in our schedule. All right. So when I'm talking about depth, I'm talking about having 2.5 guys with equal talent. 2.5. That's my depth. I don't know how y'all think about depth. I'm coming from NFL mindset. So my depth is 2.5 guys. We don't have no downtime. No downtime. And if y'all don't remember 2023, our downtime was crazy. Like a guy comes in and we like forget about it, we're finished. Like that's not depth. Okay, we're not talking about warm bodies. I'm talking about 2.5. Okay, put this in perspective. 2.5 equal talents. Maybe the 0.5 doesn't have to be equal, but I'm just saying at least 2 guys with equal talent. That third guy, if we have to get to that third guy, we got to worry. But let's just hope the game is out of reach or something, right?
But Harry, this you got to consider. You got to consider this too. We're gonna play a 12 or 13 game season. People are going. You're gonna have people get hurt.
Yeah.
Somebody has to step in there and replace that one.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Heaven forbid if we get two players hurt that's playing the same position. Now we got a problem.
But then Harry,
that's what your good teams have. That's what your
exactly.
Team,
but Harry,
I agree.
That's what I'm talking about. I want everybody to understand, especially Marcus. I want you to understand when I said when you said Harry, when you were just saying we have no depth. I look at this team differently than a lot of people because I'm a content creator, and my data that I have on the team, it goes a little bit deeper than just we get excited. Everything is not breaking news. Okay, just so y'all know, so y'all understand. Some content creator are there to excite you as the base.
Right.
But when you look at this data in honest, right? When you look at the data in honest, we still have a depth problem. And let me deliver that news for you tonight. Okay. We still have a slight depth problem for where we want to go. Because people want us to actually get a little further than what we know that we possibly can. Depth, if anybody on the names that you know, if any one of those guys go down from the names that you know, are you comfortable with the next guy up? That's the question. And I don't know that we have 2.5. Maybe we have 1.5, but I don't know that we have 2.5. That's what I mean by depth. I don't mean that we don't have bodies. I'm talking about guys that can come in and we're not taking no play off.
Based on what we had last year, I'm happy with what we have this year. Yeah.
One goes down, we out.
But I'm happy with what we have this year then. Based on what we had last year.
All right.
Right. And DC's right. This is what I'm talking about, DC. The trenches almost always gets injured.
Yeah.
You play hurt. You play hurt. Yeah.
Right. A lot of people don't understand that Tank, not the one that we call Tank, but what was the guy named? The 300-pound, the 6'8". What was that guy name? He was hurt.
Oh no.
No. The guy from Kent. I think was he from Kent State? Anyways, we had a couple of linemen that got hurt, and the season really turned. I know there was a lot of extra things going on, but the season really turned when we got injured.
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of people don't really know about the injuries, and the injuries is not what the media talks about for the most part. But our season really took a bad turn when we got injured. All right. So as
the O-line fell, so did
the O-line fell. Like the O-line, one guy went down, and it was almost like we were done. And that's why I'm like, let's as CU fans, let's please understand that we don't have a lot of guys. We got bodies, but we don't have a lot of guys. Because your next guy up got to be ready. Your next guy up got to be just as good. And you got to have a couple of Jordan Seatons, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to just hear, Jordan Seatons. We're celebrating the Jordan Seatons, the Benson, the Khalil Benson. We want to be able to celebrate the whole thing. Like, I'm telling you.
Right, but Harry, also, like, with I'm just giving a simple examination, right? Let's just pick a number like 100. If there's 100 snaps, right?
Yeah.
Right? Your starter might take 80 of those.
Yeah. And
it might be two other players that take 10 snaps apiece. It doesn't mean 50-50. Like, why are they taking him out? Where's it going? What's happening with him, right? No, and that's enough. And then keep the recovery. Give me enough time to recover. It could even be one play, I can recover it, go back in. So with that rotation, it can look different in different ways. Even if it's two players, it could be 80-20 or whatever. So we're not just, we don't have to wait for somebody to get injured, right? Especially in the trenches, there's planned relief, depending on the momentum, the flow of the game, right?
Exactly.
To give guys relief. If you're just coming on the field, you don't need it. But down towards some place in the drive before you get to the goal line, you want to give a guy maybe a break, depending on what they're going in. If they suffer the injury in the game, you flow with that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this.
So
Listen,
the guy that comes in for 10 snaps, that's what I'm saying, Harry. If you can solidly rely on him to be average and mid to do his job, you can rely on him to do his job. That's okay, because your starter is doing 80, 90 snaps. So that's what
let me add this to that too. I don't know if y'all remember UCLA. They were switching out guys in the trenches almost every other play. So and think about it. Like if you're deep, you can have a goal line trenches. You see what I'm saying? Like you have guys that are just specifically, you can bring in a whole package for when you get into the red zone. Like you could have a red zone package.
Like our Rick Ross.
Right. Like I don't know that CU has enough for us to have packages for the trenches. We may have packages for the skill positions, but I don't know that we have trenches packages where when we get into the goal line, you see some big guys like running out there and about to go push that ball in. We only have this it's going to be the same group of guys. So that's what depth means. That's what I mean by like, look, we got so many guys that when you can have a goal line trenches, oh my gosh. You know how beautiful football is when you can have a goal line trenches. You know how, like when you know your dogs are coming in. Like when they said the dogs are coming in, the Hogs. When they said the Hogs are coming in, you sit back and you be like, oh, we scored. Every time your team gets in the red zone, when your Hogs come in, it's an automatic score. You're not even. It's like Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch, whatever his name is from Seattle, right? We on the 1 yard line. You giving him the ball. He's punching it in.
But then remember, Harry, when you're on the goal line, your position don't matter no more. We don't. It doesn't. That's special teams. It don't matter where you defense or offense. Like we had a guy defense come in at TCU and give that block. They still have that on the highlight reel.
Yeah, he's on with what's his name? Yeah,
Bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop.
So when it comes down there, right, we got enough beef right now, healthy.
I believe that.
Right now, healthy, we got enough beef to push anybody around. Healthy. The goal line. Like when you talk about the goal line, special formation, yeah.
Yo, how many times last year did we get into the red zone and we didn't score? Oh my God.
That's after we got hurt. That's after we got
that was last year too, Harry.
But I have
nobody was 100% after Colorado State last year. Nobody was 100%. Everybody was banged up.
And also to add to it, the guys that sometimes they have to be able to play two positions. That's another thing we don't take into consideration. Because you may be a right guard here. You may have to go to the right side. So that's what's going to. If we're able to do that kind of stuff on that in the trenches, now we're cooking a little bit. And now we can, because we got people that are familiar with playing every position on that line. And anywhere you put them,
we've heard that this year too.
Thank you, Willie, because we're elder statesmen, and some of these young cats are like, "No, what's your position?" It's like, you ain't never heard of utility. Why do you think they want offensive linemen so smart?
That's why we call them Thundercats.
And I'm like, so I'm like, some of these cats are like, no, he's a right tackle. No, he's this, that. I'm like, and even Benson said, like when they were doing the one-on-one challenges, and Coach Prime said, no, what position you playing for us? Go there. But it didn't matter to Benson. He was like, you play left side, I'll go left side. And that's real. Utility is real.
We actually have a couple of players like that. This year, I feel pretty good about that. We have a lot of players like that.
Bandwagon buffs. Do not be one of those football fans that are like so close-minded. Appreciate and see utility in players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing.
Did we cover all the rooms? We don't have okay. So we got a decent backup on the quarterback in the quarterback's room. So we're okay. We're okay there. We cover the wide receivers. The running backs we're questionable because we lost everybody. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Yeah, we don't have anything on the running backs room, so we don't have enough data for that.
But Harry, mid-average would keep us out of last place.
For sure.
No, I think
For sure.
look,
Yeah.
I
What
think
you
we.
said, dog?
Hey, if you saw the spring game, look. If you saw the spring game, then you should know that, like you just said, utility for the running backs. Like
Yes.
we
We
was
got
good.
a lot of guys that run the ball, Harry.
Yeah, we got guys
They
that
not
can run the
designated
ball.
as running back, but we got not as many wide receivers, but we got wide receivers that can run the ball.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
good. I think we'll be okay with the running back, with the running backs room.
I love Cam
So-
McHale. He can pass,
Right.
run, throw. He can punt. That dude can.
And then we're bringing back Mark Vassett or Vassett.
Yeah,
We got Alejandro,
special teams.
and then we still got for special teams, for returners and stuff like that. We still got a bunch of speedsters, and then there's a lot of guys, like utility guys, that can just downright play freaking football. And
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
just, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm like, okay, you know what? When it comes to special teams and it comes to guys who can just catch that ball and just do a Forrest Gump, you know what I'm saying? Just head straight forward. We got a bunch of those guys, so that gives me a lot of confidence in that. So
Harry, the benefit of CU is that sometimes they might be, this or that, and not quite what we want, but we literally have players that know everybody's position.
Yeah.
They know
much.
that they know if they're
Pretty
on
much,
defense,
yeah.
they know everybody's job in any given situation.
Because
If
most
they're
of
on
the
offense, they know everybody's job.
yeah.
We got
most-
Brandon.
most-
Like we have IQ is not a problem at CU.
yeah, most of
Not this
the players that come there. Say,
Last year it
"Man,
seemed like
I
it,
play-"
but this year,
I've
hey,
heard several.
oh yeah, we're not doing RPOs anymore, right?
No,
I
man,
don't
that's,
know.
that's
I
a
don't
4-letter word, dog. That's a 4-letter
Yeah,
word. That's a
we're
four-letter
done with
word.
the RPO, right? Oh yeah, RPO is done. So I'm fine with RPO being gone. All right,
Run.
yeah,
What's
so
that? Run option. What?
run pass option.
One.
Hey
pass,
Harry, I don't
one
want to see no
pass
more
option.
edges. We got edges for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want
But
to. I don't
so
want to
the
hear
edge-
about another edge or somebody
edge
on
rusher-
the edge.
the edge rushers and the linebackers they're all grouped in together. So I think those two positions we're going to be good there. So I mean we're good. So that's all the rooms. So I think for the summertime, I think we're good. We're a good solid team right now. I don't know if Coach Prime is trying to add anybody else at this point, but we got everybody there. We got everybody in house, and at this point, I think we're ready to go. Right? I think we're ready to start practicing. We're ready to start installing.
Yeah,
We're ready to start bringing the guys up to speed.
yeah.
We're ready to get everybody acclimated and making sure that this is a solid team and everybody having dinner together, holding hands, walking down the street. Like, do whatever you got to do. At this point, yeah, like at this point, let's start kumbayaing. Let's start going. Let's forget about pocket watching. You see what I'm saying? Let's
Harry,
not worry about.
you still haven't asked me. Well, you haven't asked me in months, and I brought it up. You still ain't asked me.
What? Ask you about what?
I've upgraded to 7 and 5.
No, I was just about to ask you. I was like, because you were feeling like the way you was feeling. I was like, so are you
It's
still at
June.
6 and 6?
I'm already to 7 and 5.
Huh? You at 7 and 5 now? So you're going from 6 and 6 to 7 and 5.
Because I've been slowly but surely being able to look at, like, the spy cam, but it takes me a little longer, but looking at each team and what's going on and this and that, and then of course where we're at, but looking at other teams, I'm just like, oh, okay, I got us at 7 and 5. I mean, we can go into deeper.
Hey, Willie, you were at 10 and 2, right? Are you still at 10 and 2?
Yeah, and I'm afraid to go down. I'm scared to go down. I'm so stuck on this 10 and 2, man.
You think
I'm just
you're gonna get jumped? You're gonna get jumped on the internet?
That's okay, but I'm still scared to go down. I mean,
I'm like,
I'm 8 and 4. I'm staying at 8 and 4. I believe we are a solid 8 and 4 team, and we're not gonna make no playoff. So y'all can forget about that. We're not gonna make no playoff. Now, I like icing on the cake. Okay, I don't really like cake that much, but
really, Harry, let me be more precise now. That's coming to me because I was 6 and 6.
Yeah, you were.
And you poured on me, and I said my warm and fuzzy is 7 and 6. We actually go punch somebody in the mouth in the bowl game, beat somebody we're not supposed to.
Yeah,
right.
So if I'm at 7 and 6, if I'm at 7 and 5, Is
Yeah,
that really
where I'm at.
8-5?
That's 8 and
That's where I'm
8
at.
and 5.
I have us at 8-5.
Yeah,
That's what I'm coming at with it.
I don't have
We're
us. I
gonna
don't have us
Just
in the
make a
playoffs.
bowl game and be fish food, or we're gonna make a bowl game and bring home the hardware.
Yeah, well, if we make a bowl game, we're winning. We're winning that game.
So that's why I'm coming at it. So when I give my record prediction, I want to include the bowl appearance and the bowl win. So I'm at 8-5. That's how I'm going to do it.
I'm 8-4. What is it? 9-4. Am I 9-4 then? Is that what it?
Yeah.
So
You got to help manifest it. If you believe it,
but keep in
that's
mind,
a ball game. You got then believe that we're gonna win. Yeah.
Why do I keep in mind? I said that I said that Colorado is going to punch somebody in the mouth this year.
Yes.
And
yes,
it ain't gonna be no NDSU. NDSU is already they are cooked. I'm talking about a team that is solid. We're gonna punch a solid team in the mouth this year.
I know the Bisons, and people are gonna think, why you think they're gonna beat us? I'm like, I ain't never said that. You know what I'm saying? I know them well enough for them to bring it, but we're gonna beat them. I'm like, but I just had to push back and give the history because I know the Bisons. That FCS championship has been played up in Frisco, and I met the fans and some players when I was in Kansas, and then when I go up to Frisco. So I'm just saying, I'm expecting to be more competitive.
Here's how we're going to surprise other teams. The ones that should beat us, here's how we'll probably win it if it goes our way. We got a fumble here, an offside there, a tip ball here. Anything that's within the game, and I'm not talking about anything that's within the scope of a game, them playing the game can happen.
Yeah.
Somebody gets fumbled. They can trip over, quarterback can trip and fall and lose the ball. We pick it up and go all the way.
Yes.
That's
yeah. I agree with you, Willie.
Yes.
I believe that listen, that's what the people that cover the Big 12, that's how they have the Big 12 being. They're saying the Big 12 is pretty much blue collar, and it boils down to like somebody, the ball just rolling somebody's way.
Yeah.
So I'm under the impression that this year the ball's going to roll CU's way. Yeah. And keep in mind the way that the ball rolls your way in football, maybe not just college football, but in football period, is you got to do a lot of good things early on.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Good idea.
If you do the right thing early on, the ball will usually fall your way. But you can't be sloppy and just get luck. It is not much about luck as it is you just being consistently doing the right thing the entire game. And then when it comes down to it, something's going to happen good for you. I'm not talking about luck. So I'm talking about,
and another word for that, Harry,
is
an opportunistic defense. So when you force a fumble or you force a bad throw, you make them pay. And I see that our defense, at least especially on the defensive side, we're gonna make you pay. And even on the offensive side, if you blow a coverage, touchdown.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be no forgiveness here. It's not gonna be no breaks because we're not in the right place at the right time. You make a mistake, you're gonna pay for it, and that's gonna result on the scoreboard.
KMS said I sound like a football guy. I told you, man, I'm an NFL guy. I know football guys.
Hey, Harry B, it's not 2022, it's 2024 already. You know what I'm saying?
I know football guys. Like I'm telling you.
Hey, you need to put stripes. You need to put some stripes on. Like you know what I'm saying? Like corporal stripes, sergeant stripes, to give a visual for people. You know what I'm saying? Well,
I don't know why people take me as I don't know. I know football. I'm telling you, I really know football very well.
Like right next to Harry B, you need to put a rank so people can follow your progression. You know what I'm saying?
I'm only honest about college football because I didn't know the nuances of college football, but NFL football.
Harry B, 10 years from now, they'll still be like, "Oh yeah, the guy that said, he didn't come from a football background." I was like, "What are you talking? What?" But that's what people do, Harry. That's what people do.
I'm forever.
Or 5 years, 5 years from now, oh, that's a bandwagon buff guy. It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
y'all just some bandwagon buff. Y'all
I
just
go-
some bandwagon guys.
I'm a bandwagon buff, but I go back to 1989. You laugh at me, but I'm holding it down. I'm hoping the hell hold it down.
I came to this country in 1989.
Hey.
That's why when you go back there, I'm
Yeah.
like, well, dang, bro.
That's it, Harry. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You came in '89. You saw the bus on TV. That's what I'm telling you right now.
No,
You
I'm
couldn't
telling
avoid
you.
him. You could not
Even when I
avoid him.
couldn't speak your English, even when I didn't understand your English, I knew about Colorado. Back in I'm telling you, I used to play the college
Everybody,
football.
everybody did.
The college football game had Colorado, and I'm telling you, I remember how Colorado was known as Smash Mouth. That's what I remember them saying. Colorado is.
Even
When
if
you
you
went
didn't,
to Colorado, you got punched in the mouth.
even
Whether
if
they
you,
lost or they won, you got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
hey, even if you didn't like sports, let alone football, even if you didn't like sports,
You heard about Colorado.
this is the This is all the way around again. What are these not real football fans? They rode the bandwagon bus was coming, baby. And it's like it's like happening all over again.
There
with
were
Coach Prime.
bandwagons before us. There were
Not-
bandwagon. People were wearing Colorado stuff
Yes.
before we got here. I'm telling you, when Colorado was doing their thing in the 90s, I heard about them. And I had just got here. When my dad was teaching me about NFL football,
Yes.
I heard about Colorado. When I got to high school, I heard about Colorado. It's not. So yeah, Colorado has been.
And back then it's like,
get back to the Colorado of yesteryears. That'll be so nice.
hey, folks would be rooting for Colorado, beat Nebraska, beat this. Like they were tired of the blue bloods. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, yes, let's come on, Buffs, just because they were the underdogs. You know what I'm saying? You know.
You know what's fun to watch in football is when your team is so competitive that you don't care whether they lose or win. It's like you're just so excited that you get into the game and you're like, man, like when football is when your team just competes, like back in the Kansas days, Kansas and playing Nebraska, like when your team competes and it goes down to the wire, man. After that game, you're sweating and everything, and you're just a fan. You didn't play yourself, but you're sweating and you're like, dang, we competed.
Hey,
that's what football is really fun. But these lopsided wins.
hey, bandwagon Buffs, we winning, dog. Don't let nobody tell you different. Bandwagon Buffs, we winning, dog. You know, we winning every other way, but on the field. And this year we're gonna be winning on the field too.
On the field,
yeah, for real, man.
We winning, we winning. You know,
man. Let's get up out of here. Hey, let me get your
my
opinion.
ice pack is melted.
Let me get your opinion. What do y'all want us to talk about on the show? Can you guys give me some suggestions on some things, because the season is about to come up? All right, so we're gonna be live streaming the games. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show the games. I'm trying to find a way to show the games. But what do y'all want us to talk about in the chat? What do y'all want us to? What do y'all want to see the show? What do y'all want to see on the show?
Hey,
Let me know, guys.
Well, one of my friends does that. I'll ask him. Or we can maybe collab with the stream, because we share one of his streams, one of those games.
What'd you say?
There might already be a solution to that already by networking.
Oh, so somebody, I know. Okay, so you said somebody said they're going to have the stream for the game.
If I can say who it is, like Max at Buff Nation Daily.
Okay, so they're going to have
like we use one of his streams to watch it.
So they got a license, because they're going to shut me down, because I'm not going to be able to. I won't be able to show the game. They're going to shut it down.
So I shared the link so we could, like, when he puts it out, he can maybe put it out to you. So we, like I'll talk to Max. You know what I'm saying?
So Don said they want to see player interviews. Y'all want to see player interviews?
No.
Yeah.
That would be interesting, I guess. Everybody else is doing
it. I don't know.
But Harry, you said you didn't want to blur the lines. You started getting in with players and parents and coaches and staff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm saying no because of what you said multiple times about.
No, I don't. I don't want to get in there.
Not blurring the lines about being independent and not having to hold your tongue.
If I can figure out like how to. I don't know if I can talk to him and be like, hey man, listen, we real over here. We're not gonna you know what I'm saying? We're not just friendly, but we try to give real serious opinions over here. I don't know if people like that, because once you get in there, you gotta play the corporate game, and I don't know that I want to get on that side of the world. So I'll think about it.
I would call
I'm
it.
not gonna shoot it down.
It's a little bit of a dance and
Yeah,
certain special handling to get the interviews.
yeah.
and
Because
then-
obviously
and then
nobody
make-
wants you to bring on.
Yeah, and then you get
Go
the interview, then you have to maintain a certain degree of integrity, because now you have a connection relationship with the player. And that's why the problem with media. It's like, I gave you a full expose, and then later down the road, you use it to turn on me. That's not good.
And then after you do that, you're not going to get access.
If you want to be able to say that's trash, you want to be the freedom to say it's trash. Now, you have the right to change your mind and grow and do different, but that's what I've heard from you. But anyway, let me answer your question. You had been on examining each of our competitors, right? Examining each game down the schedule.
Yeah. So I'm waiting. This is what I'm doing. Waiting for. I was waiting for the dust to settle, because when you do those things early and then people leave and then the pieces start moving around, then the integrity of that video doesn't work anymore. So
I figure you do an update or a follow-up update. Can you do an update?
We gotta do that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We're gonna get deeper into the spy cam. The spy cam is gonna be more relevant now, because now every team should be settled. You feel me? Summertime is like every team should be settled. Everybody should be ready to go. So we're gonna be getting deeper into the spy cam. Once everything comes around. So we'll be doing more of that, and I'll be doing more videos with like updating you guys on what's going on with the other teams.
Yeah.
And the competition.
The only thing that can surprise us now is if a coach gets let go. Then that could be a train wreck.
DC said, talk about things like top 20 Big 12 players of all times, or rank the Big. So I've already talked about the Big 12 coaches. That video is on the website. So we got a video on the channel ranking the Big 12 coaches. So DC, yeah, we're already doing that. DC, you should know that, man. You see that? You see in the videos. Look at the guy who interviewed a player and how he did.
Hey, Harry, you know how we operate. He probably asked that question, so to bring it back up again. You know how we do.
Probably, yeah. So
come on, Harry. He's a panelist. You know how we do.
I know. All right, but on the live show, like y'all want to see? Is there anything specific y'all want to see on the live show? Because I would like to, mix things up a little bit. What about like you mentioned it before, Wild Dog? What about co-hosting shows? Like bringing other creators on, like maybe like.
I love collaborations, dog. I love collaborations.
Look, I would like to do this. Bring a creator on, whatever viewpoints they have, and then like I don't know if y'all cross panels or whatever, but like we can go head to head cross and battle. Like I don't know if you want to call it battle of the wits or whatever. What there go Wild Dog blessing another membership. I appreciate it, Wild Dog.
Hey, with the KMS. Hey.
Wild Dog.
It's random, dog. Hey, KMS, I'm glad you got it, baby.
Yo, listen. Wouldn't it be fun if we got like another creator who may have like a different view, and then we come on and we like try to like Harry, bang data?
You got an invitation from a friend of mine. You already have a standing invitation to do a collab.
Is that gonna be safe though? Will that be safe?
It will be provocative. It won't be safe. It will be provocative.
Listen. No. I mean, like we can set the ground rules, right? Because you got different creators who have different opinions, right? Like somebody said, the Buff and Prime guys, they had what the Surfs just said. The Buff and Prime guys just said the floor for CU was 10-2, and it just steamed their credibility when he stood on the prediction, in my opinion. So, like, okay. Maybe we come out with a show with the Buff and Prime guys because they,
just break down the schedule. Who you think we're gonna win? Who you think we're gonna lose to?
Right. We can do different creators with different opinions, and like we can come on and we can talk about stuff. I think Coach Hayes would be a great collab partner for you, Harry B. All right, so
I like Coach Hayes too.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say no. I like Coach
because
Hayes,
I think I've seen Coach Hayes do with Big Dog Chico, right? He did a couple of shows with him.
Like a Q&A with Coach Hayes would be nice. Then the chat can ask any kind of questions they want. Because Coach Hayes, man, Coach Hayes done forgot more football than a lot of these cats talking about they know. Matter of fact, in this buff CU, sphere on YouTube, they learned it from Coach Hayes, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, word?
Like literally, I would say Coach Hayes bring up something, and next thing I know, I see it on somebody else's channel, and I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of us,
Well, I mean,
because
I would say
we're such fans, we're here, we're with you, but we also catch, other channels, what's going on. Sometimes we dip in and out. Like Surfer Boy, we all holler at each other, you know what I'm saying? In chats all over the place. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I just want to I just want to kind of like, open up the doors to start collaborating with other, just to kind of keep it exciting and see if we can because right now the season is not here. So
Yeah.
I want to see
Willie,
like
I feel Willie about the caution.
But listen,
We're just not gonna have anybody. Willie.
This is what I like about Buff and Prime. Buff and Prime deal with video facts. The video facts. You can look at it. He explains everything what's happening. The boy know X's and O's like backwards, and he can explain. That's why I made my prediction, because I was watching a lot of his shows, and it made sense. With me right now, I don't know a lot of football like these guys get on.
So wait, so your 10-2 is coming from the Buff and Prime guys.
It's coming from Buff and Prime.
Well, let me just tell you this though. I would love to have Buff and Prime. Maybe we should do a show where I can push back on some of their stuff. Because I'll tell you this, Willie. I'll tell you this. Even though you say, "Hey, this is what this guy is capable of," it doesn't always translate. Because remember that we're a data show and we talk about, hey, he did this over there, but then when he got here, it didn't always work out that way. So
that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what it's about.
I'm not saying that's what you're talking about. I'm just saying, even though the data shows that this is what this guy's capable of, which is what the Buff and Prime guys do, they tell you, right? It doesn't mean that the translation is going to be 100%, because the translation doesn't always translate. You know what I'm saying? The math doesn't always math. So that's why I'm saying be careful with the 10-2, because you don't know if the math is going to be mathing like that.
I mean, his prediction. I said 10-2 before he did.
Cool. I would actually love to maybe have them on the show, or I could go on their show and we can I would have them on my show, because they're I would like to have them on my show.
Yes, on your show.
Have them on my show and we can kind of talk about their approach, and we can talk about each other's approach and see how. Maybe we can just kumbaya a little bit, because we all kind of prom guys, right?
Yeah.
So
Hey, Harry B, my only caveat, and I think it's coming from the spirit. I would want to coordinate with Feel So Real.
Huh?
I would want to coordinate with Feel So Real, like the collaboration show when Feel So Real is available. Does that make sense?
Okay. Because he's our statistician.
he's part of our foundation of the core, you know what I'm saying, of the community. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Phil So Real is my statistician. He's my data guy. Is that why you saying it? Why are you saying that?
Like, we need a core panel. Like, even if DC Carson is available, coordinate with as much of the panel.
Who to have on the panel?
Yeah, as much of our core panel with our guests. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. No,
and not just you and the other content creator.
No, I wouldn't do it with just me.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it because
you have the emails. You can give us a heads up. It's looking like Friday at whatever time. You know what I'm saying? To try to coordinate with your core panel. Your core contributors to the channel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so if I reach out to somebody and we can agree on a show, then I'll just give y'all a heads up. Be like, yo, I got what's the name? They want to come on and we want to. Yeah. Then I can get you guys. But Monday nights is not good for Phil, so it's got to be on a Friday. It's got to be one of the Friday shows, or it got to be a pop up.
And I could try to work it out on a Friday, but I really kind of commit to Mondays, because the day is gone, and you know what I'm saying. And I know I'm home. And I'm I can be available. So that's why I focus on the Mondays. And then the Fridays, sometimes I'll be in the chat. So DC's in the chat, he's here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes we're not necessarily on the panel, but at least if we're helping to hold it down in the chat, that's blessings, Harry. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to narrate. Like I I like to narrate. But no, I mean I think I'm gonna reach out to some people. And then and listen, and I will actually extend my hand and say, hey, if y'all know any creators out there, I don't want none of the controversial people coming and start cussing and all that stuff. I can't do that part.
we
right?
got rules. We got Harry got rules.
Right,
Harry
right,
knows
right.
safeguard.
I can't do the cussing part, so I can't do every creator. I'm just talking about the nice and clean guys. Okay.
But-
So if y'all can reach out, if y'all want to reach out, be like, hey man, my guy Harry B want to holler at you. Y'all want to do a collab. If y'all want to send me a message, I will appreciate that. I'm just saying because I'm
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? If y'all can do that for me, I will appreciate that. If y'all already have connections with some of these guys, I would really appreciate it. I'm just letting y'all know that it's not my strong suit. All right. I'm putting it out there. It's not my strong suit because I stay away from people. I like to stay in my corner because I'm an open spirit. I'm a free spirit. And some people are not receptive because they feel some kind of way. And my spirit is a little different. So if y'all can reach out to certain people, I will appreciate it. I'm gonna leave
Harry,
it at that.
even like my guy, his show is raw. You know what I'm saying? It's raw.
Yeah,
but when
I'm not. I
but
can't
no,
do that.
but look, but when he's done collaborations, it's different. If you watch him,
I
you,
don't want to mess with it.
but I'm just saying, if you watch a collab between him and David Talks Buffs, it's a different energy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's not the
Yeah.
same. It's not the same when he does collaborations. He would go on a collaboration with David Talk Buffs. It's multiples of them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, just because someone's show and panel does, that's that lane and that show and that channel. When they go do a collaboration, there's evidence of how he does his collaborations, and it's two separate things.
Okay.
So I'm just
So
saying.
I guess what you're saying is like his show is his show.
Because I'm
When
not
he
going to,
When it comes to your show, then
because I got your back. I'm not going to suggest a collaboration that I think is going to, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's going to be negative.
I'll
You're
I'll
both
think
my
about it.
guys.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
because you're my guy. I'm not gonna shoot it down.
Yeah, you're my guy.
All
He's
right,
my
so-
guy. Yeah. So I'm like, so that's what I'm just saying, you know?
DC, I think DC or Phil So Real, they actually recommended this idea. They said to link up with collaborate with opposing teams from YouTube creators. Now,
Yes. Oh, that's
I
yeah.
remember
That would be
DC. I think
nice,
DC
yeah.
told me that. But the only thing is, because Coach Prime and the CU Buff is like we have a lot of people. We have a lot of creators. I don't know too many creators from other teams.
Hey,
I know the locked on
yes.
podcast series. They do have people from the Locked On, but
Look.
their process is different. So I could, because I have done Kevin Borber's writing before.
Yes.
He does the Locked On, so I
They-
could reach out to Kevin Borber.
Hey,
But he's not. But he's a buff guy.
right. But
So-
look, but Harry and BWBs, if you want to do spy cam research, there's Locked On for everything.
There's Locked On for everything.
There's
Yeah.
Locked On. So if you do Locked On,
Locked On for every
Kansas State.
college football team.
if you do Locked On my Dallas Mavericks, there's a Locked On for Dallas Mavericks. So that's
Yep.
the easy way to do research on other teams and to get information, and even to find someone that could potentially collaborate, you know, with TLP Sports.
Hey, Surf, I'm reaching out to you. Hey, Surf, I'm putting the word out there. I'm not good at this, Surf. If you can reach out to somebody, if you know a creator and you're like, yo, I know this guy, his name is Harry B. He's pretty level-headed, and yo, he would like to just let me put the email on the screen because I'm asking for help. Okay, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm gonna ask y'all for help. Yep. If y'all saying it, y'all gonna help me. All right. The email is on the screen. Sorry, I had to cover your face, Wild Dog. The email is on the screen. Just give him this email right here. Be like, hey, man, my guy Harry B, you know what I'm saying? He's a pretty nice guy. He does this show, TLP Live, and he would like to have a collaboration show with you. This is his email. Join TLP Live at Gmail. Just hit him up. Y'all can chop it up, and we can have a good show. So y'all, please reach out if you can, because I'm not good at this. All right? And I'm asking for your help. I'm not joking. If you think I'm laughing, but I'm not joking. All right. And Wild Dog, I'm reaching out to you too, because you're my guy. So I know you know
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of people. So
Yes, sir.
I'm letting everybody know. The email is on your screen. So y'all please email whoever it is. They gotta be clean though. I can't mess with the whole. I don't do Adult Swim. Okay. I do not do Adult Swim. So join TLPlive@gmail.com is the email. Reach out to somebody. Be like, hey, man, y'all want to have a show together? You know, two of my favorite creators, blah, 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 blah. All right, Willie, final thoughts. Let's get up out of here, man. We are way over the time.
Good show, Harry. Glad to be here, man. Miss you guys. Once again, had a great conversation, about everything we talked about. So I'm looking forward to having a great season. I mean, a really great season this year. So I'm good.
For sure, but I appreciate that. DC said, Harry, I'm gonna get you an interview with Tracy Edmonds so you can get.
No.
He's trolling. He's call him a troller. He's trolling.
No.
It's too much,
man. DC trying to get me canceled. Yo, we did Tavares. We had Coach Mike Lowry with Tavares Dawson, and we almost got canceled.
I'd rather bring on the Oregon coach. I'd rather bring on the Oregon coach than that happen.
Oh
No.
Oh my God, yo, that would look. That would be a great show, and then that'll be the last show.
Hey, we would just set you over to do channel. Hey, Harry B.
I know.
Harry B.
LPW instead be over there.
Harry B. My thoughts is like, I'm glad we were able to talk about basketball without you having to mute me.
Oh wow, yeah, you're so passionate about basketball. My goodness, yo.
Hey, and I've been lit, dog. I've been lit. I've been on a campaign for real. I've been on a campaign for the WNBA. I've been on a campaign for my Dallas Wings. I've been on a campaign for my Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. Man, I'm telling you. So.
Yo, man, look, I appreciate this community.
I forgot the other thing I wanted to say. I started laughing too hard.
You laugh your way out of your own thoughts.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yo, I appreciate this community, man. You guys are awesome.
I remember now because it was
Yeah.
a segue about talking about basketball, women's basketball, and I did subscribe. Hey guys, go out to TLP Sports Club W and subscribe to Harry's second channel. All right.
Yeah, but that's just the TLP Sports Club W, or TLPW as I'm calling it. It's really about women's sports. Like that channel, I'm dedicating to telling. I'm actually going to be telling more stories than like trying to give you stuff. I'm going to really be telling the stories of like Angel Reese. I'm going to be telling the stories. I'm going to find the legacy guys, and I'm going to tell you who they are. I'm going to tell you the other side of them. I think I dropped a story on.
Hey Harry, you want me to link my? You want me to tag you in my shorts?
What you mean?
Man, I'm at the games, and instead of like submitting the videos, I just loaded it into my own channel.
No, don't do that.
Okay,
don't do that because I have a lean that I want to go. I want to tell. Yeah,
but if you check me out, it might give you ideas. I'm just saying because
I already do. I check out your content.
Yeah. So a lot of times what I would
out
submit
there with the crowd getting crazy.
Yeah, a lot of times what I submit to basketball, especially other channels, I'm doing it that way now. It's easy for me just to do it and upload it myself. Yeah.
Hey man, listen, we'll talk offline as far as like when it comes to like if you have access to certain stories, we can talk offline. But I want to start telling the stories of these ladies.
Yes.
And not just basketball, but like women's sports. And then when the lady buffs come back, I want to also include them in that as well. So, yeah, man. I mean,
it's hot.
It's popping. So we're gonna blow it up. We're gonna blow it up. But that's TLP Sports Club W, guys. If you go youtube.com/ at TLP Sports Club W or TLPW.
I told you, Harry, it was time for you to expand. I knew it.
but I remember I told you it was going to eventually happen.
I know, but I just try to encourage you, man, and just and what I see things, not just black people. I see things, not just black people.
I see black people
all the time.
Hey, I see white people.
All all the
I see
time.
white women.
I'm done, dog. I'm done, dog.
I can't tell you guys how many places I've been when I've been the only chocolate chip in the whole building.
I see,
I've
I
been
see
the only
white
chocolate
women.
chip in every cookie. I learned to accept it, you know.
Hey, Sunday was my birthday game at the Dallas Wings. You know,
Well,
it
I'm
was
glad with that.
it was chocolate to my left, then a white lady, and then chocolate all the way on the other side of her.
You're not in the right place.
And I was
see
like,
all white
"Where's Harry B? Where's Harry B? I need to go live with Harry B right now."
people. You know, my world is full of white people. I see white women. Oh man.
You need to let me go live over there on TLP Sports Club W, Harry,
Oh, you want to go live on TLP Sports
on
Club?
the Wings game.
That's a faceless channel. I didn't even want to join. Look, I actually did a short on Kaylin's what's her name, and it kind of went viral a little bit, and people started having conversation. I didn't even want to I didn't even want to join the conversation. I'm like, I should just let them go.
Harry, let me have the comments. Let me have the comments. I got you, dog. Don't worry about it.
I said,
Don't worry about it. I got the comments. I got the comments. Harry. I
said,
talk basketball every day, all the time.
I said, look, the channel just started, but then the short went like 2,000 views. I was like, it's almost 3,000 views, and I'm like,
it's gonna keep on. It's not gonna stop, Harry. Yeah, it's not gonna stop.
This is not supposed. I'm not supposed to be getting this amount of views.
Harry,
but,
I'm telling you, dog. Telling you.
But anyways, yo, let's get up out of here, man. I love this community. We're gonna keep it rocking.
Yes,
and
community.
And listen, look, I actually want to expand this channel. I really want to expand this channel into college football, because right now we're really niche with the Colorado, but I really hope that this channel can, like, maybe when I start doing like collaborations with other fan bases, maybe that'll give me an opportunity to invite other people to listen when we can start talking more of a college football thing.
Well, Harry,
college football is actually more fun when you include a lot of other teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, not necessarily content creators, but like you know, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm University of Louisville, and I'm familiar with the ACC because of that. So I'm just saying, you got these bandwagon buffs and Coach Prime fans and these, you know, bandwagon buffs. They got home teams, or they got teams. So you got people who know other teams and other conferences. Just ask.
Exactly.
And it's nothing to be ashamed about. That's just the truth. Because you follow Coach Prime. I mean, you know.
Right.
You know.
It's just you gotta find it's a very tricky thing. It's a very tricky lane, because when you do it, like, they're not looking for that. It's just like Caitlin Clark. Nobody was looking for women's content, women's basketball content until Caitlin Clark. Now it's like you do a women's basketball short, and it's like it's getting thousands of views now because people are looking for it. So
Harry,
it's a fine line, but I'll figure it out.
Harry, I did it from Google Meet, because before I knew what I was doing, and before I knew it wasn't going to work. So I shoot it with my camera. I just did it on Google Meet, and that short is grainy. The audio is awful, and people love that short where she came to Dallas and missed the final shot.
Wow.
So I'm just telling you, you put it out there, there's a demand for it, there's interest for it, and just not just women's basketball, it's helping make a turn for all of women's sports.
That's true.
Because people are going to be like, well, what else am I missing? I wasn't a sports fan, or I wasn't a basketball fan. What else are women doing that I'm not aware of?
Yeah.
Perfect niche, Harry, perfect thing. And like I said, you got people who are fans of other teams and other conferences right here in the community that can help kickstart things for you, brother.
Yep.
You know,
all right,
you
guys,
can say a live about this, and you know, we got you covered.
All right, so let me get up out of here, though. It's after my time. All right, guys, y'all have a great evening. I appreciate you joining the Monday Night Football.
It's time for my bedtime meds and my peppermint tea.
And your Bengay and your wrap. Okay?
Yeah.
Your cucumber wrap.
Yeah, see, there you go again with that. I told you, We ain't no old people here. Just elder statesmen.
Elderly
Yeah.
statesmen.
Elderly
statesmen.
statesmen.
The elderly statesmen,
I will have
they gotta go.
I will have my nightcap of scotch. Thank you.
All right,
You know-
Surf. Hey, Surf, message me, man. Everybody message me. Let me know. Contact your
Yes.
favorite showman. Harry, join TLP live at gmail.com. I'm out of here. Peace out, guys. Good night.
Good night, guys.